everyone to another episode of Spooky Japan Podcast. Today, we have a very special guest with us, our friend Howard. How are you doing, Howard?
Doing great, doing great. How y'all doing this morning?
We're doing
This
pretty good.
afternoon, whatever the hell y'all are. What time is it over there in Japan?
It's about 8 o'clock in the morning here.
Yeah,
Well, good morning.
we've been up since 6.
Yeah, good evening to you, Howard.
After evening, yes, it is. It's evening here. 6
Yes.
o'clock now in the evening. Yep, 6:17. Almost dinner time.
So, for our listeners out there who don't know who you are, how would you introduce yourself?
I'm an asshole. Uh, Either love it or leave it. That's my after 3 wives. Yeah, that they left.
I'm gonna choke on my coffee. Okay, stop that.
No, but I'm a paranormal investigator. I'm a pastor, minister. I'm a demonologist, and what else I do? I have my own foundation. I have a 501c3 nonprofit foundation that we help pregnant women who are suffering from perinatal, prenatal, postpartum, and any mental depression. Um, let's see. I'm a podcast network owner, co-owner. I own Paralanx. Uh, Also, an actor.
Are you really?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I'm an actor. I've done a couple of movies, and I've done actually a Super Bowl commercial. I've done television series, a couple of television series. Yeah, so yeah, I've been doing a lot, and I also have three podcast shows that I did. So I
For
guess
some odd
that's
reason, with Howard's personality, when he said he was an actor, I was totally waiting for him to be like, "Yeah, I'm in a triple X actor." If you know what I mean?
yeah. I do
Irene's
that.
laughing because she's like, "I'm surprised he didn't say that either."
I do that. I do.
I'm
Uh,
not saying he is. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he isn't. So
I'm sharing this out to a couple of people, or a couple of uh, things. Get this out for y'all.
Irene, you're
What the hell is going on with her?
just
She's sniffing glue again?
nah, it's okay. I'm done.
You done?
Mm, it's gonna be a long morning for me.
I'm surprised you didn't see that coming, Irene. She's still Irene. The fact that you're still laughing.
Yeah. It's gonna be a long morning for me. Okay.
Yep. I'm trying to share this out for y'all.
Too bad Michael's not on.
Okay, yeah, let's see. I'll share this out. Yeah, share it on it. All right, share it out for you. I got y'all some.
Where did your journey into the paranormal begin?
My journey into the current. You mean when I started my interest in the paranormal?
Yeah, what started the interest
Uh,
from,
Actually,
I'm
it
gonna guess,
started.
skeptic to
I guess it started when I was about 5 years old. Um, I had a visitation from my great grandfather. Uh, a couple of weeks prior to that, me and my brothers were making fun of my great grandfather, and he passed away. And one night I was in bed, and I woke up, and there he was, face to face with me, and he just sort of like just disappeared, faded away. I mean, he was a solid form, and he just faded away. And I jumped up ran to my parents' bedroom and woke up my mother, and she told me, "Don't worry about it. Your grandfather, your great grandpa, he's looking for prayers. That's all he wants." So I guess that's when I started my interest in the paranormal. Anyway, I've always asked questions about it. So I've been a paranormal investigator. Goodness, it's over 40 years now. Uh, and between that, I mean, while I was doing, I was also in different other stuff. I was in the UFOs and stuff, like anything that had to do with the paranormal field.
Mm.
It's interesting, especially when you're a little bit gifted, and I will know when someone passes away before anyone's told me, just because they'll come visit and basically say like their goodbyes. And then I was
Don't
just
tell me
and
shit.
then it's just like I'm not surprised. Like I knew my grandpa died before anyone told me, just because he came and he kind of visited me, saying like his goodbyes before he left.
Or just don't tell me shit. I'm not waiting. Just let it be a surprise to me. I'd be like a kid on Christmas. You know, fat kid in the candy store. I just let me be. If I go, I go.
I'll bring roses.
You gonna bring roses? Oh, that's sweet.
See.
I'd bring toilet. Just put some toilet paper in the casket with me. I'll be all right. In lieu of flowers, bring toilet paper.
I am going to bring moonshine to yours, Irene.
Oh, okay. Well, you can take it from my floor here. I got a whole bunch of it.
Yeah, I was like, let's just bring moonshine. People look at me, be like, she'd want it this way.
Mm-mm.
Where has been your favorite place to investigate so far?
Um, oh goodness. My favorite place to investigate would probably be Voodoo Authentica. It's a voodoo shop, and it's ran by real voodoo priests and priestesses. It's all authentic voodoo um, charms and talismans, and you name it, it's in there. And it's located right in the heart of the French Quarter. And that place is so haunted. It actually it's a story behind it. The back half of it used to be um, a school, like a private boarding house, a boarding school, and it burned down. See, Chicago is going to sit back and tell you, "Oh, Chicago, we had the Great Fire of Chicago." Well, fuck that. I'm sorry for using that language. We
That's
burned
fine.
down twice. We burned down twice in New Orleans. We had two major fires in New Orleans, and this place here, it actually it caught on fire, and a bunch of the students did die, and it was ran by nuns. Um, One nun in particular, she kept going in and out, saving as many of the students as she possibly could, but she succumbed to the smoke and flames, and she passed away in there as well. And we did an investigation. I love investigating this place. Um, we've captured, I call them ribbon orbs. It's like an orb that looks like a ribbon, and it just kind of floats like that. We've captured multiples of those. There's mirrors in there. We've seen, shadows pass in front of mirrors when between us and the camera, and you can see a shadow, and there's nothing there in front of you, but you can see it in the mirror. We've captured voices. Matter of fact, it was in one room, and walked up to, and I was about 2 foot away from it, and you can hear. At first, I thought it was a child laughing, but what
Yeah.
it was child crying,
Mm.
and it was in the corner. And as soon as I got close enough to it, it just stopped. And then we captured EVPs of the nun that was going in and out of the place that she was in there. But we was also capturing other spirits from the French Quarter because we had Papa Czar was there. He's a voodoo priest. He's also a vampire. Um, he came in and he opened up the place for spirits to come in, and we was capturing multiple spirits coming in and out of that place. And so that to me that was one of the most amazing places I've ever investigated.
I think you did a live on that, remember?
We did two lives with that before.
Because I
He's
remember
only done a lot of
watching
lives.
one of them.
We did 2 lives from there. Yeah, it's an amazing place to investigate. Actually, 3 lives. We did one with my team. Then we done one with Tim and Tim and Crystal Kohler. I believe they were there. No, they weren't there. They went there, and then I did one with Matt Barron when he came down for their haunted world haunting thing or whatever they had. We
Uh,
did,
I know what you're
I
talking
didn't see
about.
that one.
but yeah, we captured a lot of stuff there.
World's biggest ghost hunt. That's what he does. I had to think about that.
Yeah,
Mm.
but yeah, we've done we've done many investigations. Plus, I know the head voodoo priestess that owns the place, and she's been on television and stuff as well. That's Brandy. Um, she's a Mamba, which is like a very high-ranking voodoo priestess, and they have these voodoo ceremonies that they actually do in Mississippi. So it's quite interesting. A lot of people think of the voodoo religion as something that's evil, or because you
Hmm.
see, no, it's not.
Does not have to be.
Oh no, it's actually quite a beautiful religion. Um, the craftsmanship in drawing these figures on the ground is quite elaborate. Um, and it means something. It's just to bring in certain uh, entities, so to speak, spirits. Instead of just bringing in all the spirits, they bring in certain spirits. And they can actually pick and choose who they want to bring in. So it's quite an amazing religion.
That would be that. I don't really know much about voodoo, but I know you probably know a little bit more, obviously, than the average person. Being down there in Louisiana, not being far from New Orleans, because I
Yeah.
think voodoo is big there, right?
Oh, it's very big, very big. It's I've matter of fact, me personally, I've um uh, I believed in it ever since I was a baby. I guess you could say. I had one time. I mean, I had a really really bad cold, and my dad went to go see a voodoo priestess, and he came home and he put these chicken feet underneath my pillow, and I'm like, I was too little to say anything, but it was some kind of chicken feet, and he said, "You just leave that there." And I mean, it was almost to the point where I had pneumonia, and the next day I woke up and it was gone. It's like
Mm.
nothing, nothing. I had no congestion and nothing. It was just gone. So,
Wow.
You've also studied demonology, correct?
yeah, I'm a demonologist.
How much studying? I always like to ask people that who has that title. How much studying or training did that entail?
You're always studying and you're training. It's never ending. Um, if someone says you can get a certificate, these people, I mean, online, they say I can get my demonology certificate. No, that's bullshit. Okay.
I wish that was a thing.
Yeah.
They do have schools where you pay to become a demonologist, and that's just a ripoff.
Mm.
Um, if you like my mentor is Carl Johnson.
Hmm.
Um, I've studied it, and I've studied not just demonology but theologians.
Hmm.
And Carl Johnson, he's one of the biggest demonologists out there in the world. He's been on many television programs. He was there in the beginnings of Ghost Hunters. The
Hmm.
first, I think, 3 to 5 seasons, he was on that show.
Hmm.
Him and his brother both. And
Hmm.
he's the one who actually he was in uh, little what do they call it? It's the Conjuring House.
Hmm.
Mhm.
He was the first one in the Conjuring House. He was he's investigated Amityville. He's been in numerous places. Uh, he worked with Ed and Lorraine Warren. They
Mm.
brought him in with Ed and Lorraine Warren. Um, but that was stories told to me about Ed and Lorraine Warren also. But I don't want to get into all that. But anyway, um, yeah. If I have a question about anything with demonology, I've always contacted him. I've called him up and asked him about it, and he seems to know what he's talking. I mean, the man's very intelligent, and I've just talked to you about this before. You need to get him on your show and
Hmm.
talk about demonology. I mean, this man, he is the guru of demonology,
Yeah.
uh, and he's been in it over for 50 years.
Mm.
So
Interesting.
Yeah, I always like to ask people that who actually are demonologists, just because you hear in the field a lot. People wake up one day and you're like, you know what? I'm a demonologist. So I'm like,
no,
I always like to
doesn't
ask
work.
people. Yeah, I always like to ask people. I'm like, all right, how much training or education or mentorship did you have to go through to even be considered starting to call yourself that? Just because it's not realistic to wake up and be like, I'm a demonologist. Or I read a book. I took the online course. I have a certificate that says I'm a demonologist, so I am
I
certified.
mean,
Come
you
to
can
your
call
house.
yourself
And
once
that's
you
it.
start studying it, and you can say you're a demonologist, but I mean, it's just like I don't know. Give you an example. It's just like if you was to go to McDonald's. You got somebody whose first day starting there at McDonald's and doesn't know shit about nothing and walking around in the store, and then you ask for a Big Mac and he gives you I don't know, a quarter pounder with cheese or something. I don't know. And he doesn't know anything. Doesn't know about the fries and whatever the case may be. I'm just giving you an example.
Hmm.
And compared to someone who's been there, worked there for 5 to 10 years and knows everything, they can go work the grills or whatever it is, or whatever it's entailed to fill your order. It's just different levels of experience, and you don't want someone who's just starting out. You want someone who's been in the field for quite some time, who's studying it constantly. It's like I say, it's not something that you um, like you say, wake up one morning and say, I'm a demonologist. Yeah, you could do that,
Hmm.
but you call that person to your home, and if there is something in your home, he's going to get his ass kicked.
Yeah, that's why I
Worse.
like to bring it up because I'm just like, you don't understand. I was curious. I've done one of those courses to give you a certificate. It barely covers even like the basics. And it's stuff I knew already as a paranormal investigator. So it's just like this definitely does not qualify. It doesn't even go into
Yeah.
how to actually do cleansings properly. So I'm just like, if that's your background or education is I just did the online school and went to someone's house. I've heard a lot of stories of people that's happened to.
Ain't giving nothing like on the rites of exorcism or anything.
No. And I'm just
Wow,
like, okay, it's like, okay, this definitely was not worth it just
that's
for
a
that
basic.
reason.
You need to learn that.
Yeah. And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, don't take those online courses and go to someone's house because in the field, I'm pretty sure most of us have heard horror stories of someone who's just like, I am qualified, go to their house and it make it worse, or they get
Yeah.
attacked. Or
Yeah.
unfortunately, when they leave and it just angered whatever was there even more, and it attacks the
But
people
you also have to
there even
understand
more.
when they walk into a house, a demonologist walks into the house. You have to know what you're dealing with in the first place.
Yeah.
It could be something that's demonic, or it can be something that just thinks it's demonic. You think it's demonic, but it's just an evil spirit. Now,
Hmm.
something that's an evil spirit compared to something that's demonic is
Hmm.
two different animals.
Yeah.
Okay, you have something like I said, you have a demonic entity, and that's something that's never been born. That's something that's from hell. Or you got someone that's a spirit that's really really pissed off
Hmm.
and is doing the same thing. And you also have to know when you walk into what are the signs of something that's demonic in that home.
Hmm.
Hmm.
You have to learn the signs of that.
One
It's like
demonologist said that he's always asked, "How do you know if it's a demon or it's just an angry spirit?" And they're like, "If it's a demon, you wouldn't question it. You'll know."
Yeah. And if it's angry spirit, you'll also know that too.
then you also have to. There's a third option on that. Um, Walking into a house and you got someone saying there's something demonic in my house. Of course, you have the demonic entity. It could be something the demonic like I said, demonic entity. It could be an evil spirit. And the third
Mhm.
option is that person psychologically impaired?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, could be something going on with that person rather than what's going on in that house.
Mhm.
Think that house could be clean and you're just dealing with someone who has some mental problems.
Yeah.
So
It's also like that in the paranormal world too. You have to figure out this person intact or has something wrong with them because they see floating spirits in their house. Like, yeah,
yeah, during
exactly.
COVID was crazy. I gotten phone calls and messages from people telling me that because you was locked up in your house and there was things people actually noticing for the first time. Um, People were calling me up and said, "There's a devil in my house. There's a
Yeah,
devil in my house."
yeah. I got
And
the same one.
I've gotten so bored and not bored, but so pissed off and so overwhelmed with all these messages that I started telling people, you know, I'll ask them a few questions, and 9 times out of 10, there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing demonic, just through the questioning. And
Yeah.
at the end of it, I would tell them, "Well, you want to get rid of that demon?" And they'll say, "Yeah." I said, "Well, what you have to do is you go to your wallet, you pull out that credit card, and you give it to your wife, and the demon will leave." And then that would be the end of it. Or if it was a woman, you give your husband, give him a fishing pole, and let him go. The demon would be gone.
Dang, I bet that worked.
It did work. I got a lot of people pissed off, but it worked.
I had
Well,
a I had a friend. I think I unfriended her a little while ago. She said, "Well, I like demonology." I go, "Okay, yeah." And she said, "We went to this house. We this little boy had something. He had issues, and it went sideways. And they killed the boy." I go, "Okay." He's like, "Yeah, okay. Enough of that one. That was bad." I said, "Oh God." So what you guys did? "Oh, we just left it. We just left it. And they had the funeral and that was done." I go, "Okay, unfriended." Yeah,
Now,
that
don't
was
get me wrong. I mean, I've been to cemetery. The worst experience I've ever had was with, it was actually in a cemetery.
mm,
And this cemetery was up in Bogalusa, Louisiana. And this cemetery, I mean, the guy who brought us there, he was on another team at the time. And I'm thinking that you would drive in just like any cemetery in the
mm-hmm,
world. You know, there's an entrance, you drive up to it, or you might have to walk a little bit to get to the. And we get on this dang gravel road, and we drove for about 2 or 3 miles on this gravel road. Then it turned into a damn mud, and it was like a logger trail. And then from there, we had to walk about, I don't know, about 500 yards to get to the cemetery. And this is out in the middle of the woods.
mm,
There's nothing around. It's just in the middle of the woods. And when you got to the cemetery, you're thinking it's going to be overgrown and it wasn't. It was in pristine shape. It had a chain link fence around it. It was all cut. The grass was all cut and cleared out, and it was like it was
mm-hmm,
taken care of.
mm-hmm,
And these cemetery graves were dating back, God, into the 1800s.
mm-hmm,
And the newest one, I believe, it was like the 19 early 1900s,
mm-hmm,
early 1900s, like 1910. That was the
mm-hmm.
newest. And inside the cemetery, we looked at the graves, and about 90% of the graves were all children under the age of 1.
Oh,
It was like, it was kind of freaky, you see all these children's graves in there. Well, we came across this one grave, and it was a woman who she must have been about, from the age on the tombstone. She must have been about 35 years old, and she had a footstone that said "Mother." So I'm standing at the footstone, and I had a hit on my K2 meter and my mail reader,
Mm-hmm.
and we just kind of browse and just kind of get a feel for what's going on in there with just see what's active, and it showed up active, and I said, Mother, do you need any help? And it felt like somebody hit me in the back of the head with a baseball bat. I dropped to my knees, and it was like wow. So I just figured maybe I'm just headache came along or something. It was just a bad headache I got. So I shook it off and came back about 15, 20 minutes later and went to the same burial plot and I asked the same question and it happened again. So I made the
Ooh.
mistake and I said, "You bitch." And actually, she was my very first attachment. She stayed with me for 5 days. And it took for me to go to a Catholic church and go to the altar of Mary and get anointed to get rid of this thing.
Mm.
And I was getting, you can ask my wife, she said that I was gray. I looked like I was on death's door. This thing was doing a number on me. And after I got anointed that afternoon, I was back to my normal self. Um, and so I had a couple of uh, psychics do and mediums do readings on me, and I didn't tell them anything. And they told me what this woman was. Told me exactly who this woman was, and what she was doing. She was asking for help, and I was like, "That's the wrong way to ask somebody for help." You just don't go hitting people or attacking people like that to asking for help. And what it was, she was looking for her baby. So I went back to the grave, and we never got anything done on it. I mean, she never did come back to me. I guess she got spooked off or whatever. She just didn't want to get you know taken away. When I went to a Catholic church, I mean, and got anointed, that kind of hurt her.
Mm-hmm.
But I never did. I tried to offer help and to do research on her and see who her actual child was and see if we could find her baby or where this person might be buried at to this day, because that person had to be over 100 100 years old by now. Um, but never did find out anything about it. The baby, evidently it was something to do with it was either stillborn or it died at birth. So I
Mm.
don't know exactly where the baby was actually buried. We tried to find out, um, and that was the end of it. I mean, we just dropped it from there. I mean, there's nothing I could do from that point on. She didn't want to communicate back with me, so
Yeah,
it
I
went up.
can't feel anything either. It's really hard because it's really hard to tune in on that because I can't see anything either because nothing's coming out from that one.
Yeah, but I've done many investigations, and um, but that's why I do live investigation. How I act on camera when I'm doing my shows or whatever is totally the opposite. You got
Mm-hmm.
different, like I have Paranormal Swamp Talk. I'm very serious on that show. That's a one
Mm-hmm.
topic show, and I stay on topic with that show. And then I have Petri Dish, which is kind of more laid back, do a
Mm-hmm.
little cutting and stuff like that on that show. And then of course we have Trinity, that's a total shit show,
Unholy Trinity, yeah.
and that's a shit show. And
That
we go
that
all
show
over the
goes sideways really fast, anyways.
so yeah, it's just one of those things that we do. Um, but that's what we try to do in those shows. And when I did do these investigations, you can see me when I'm out there. I respect the dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's just they were human. They were alive at one time,
Yeah.
and you have to show them respect. I mean, it would be like if you was to talk to someone today, you just don't walk up to them and say, "Hey, fuck you," and walk off. You
No.
know, you want to be show. I mean, especially down here in the South, we do respect our elders and we do respect
Yeah.
other people, and
Hmm.
you show them respect and you get the same back. You get that
Yeah.
same respect back. Uh,
It's the same way here too.
Yeah, we've I've said that many times because there's people who come over here and they'll just walk into a place where it's supposed to be haunted to do an investigation, but they just start setting up. They don't originally go in there and be like, hello, my name is blah blah blah. I'm only here to talk to you, if that's okay. I'm not here to hurt you. And it's always important here to kind of go in first and introduce yourself and say, I hope it's
Yeah.
okay, I'm here. Just because it'd be the same thing if I kind of like, if I barged in, I even say this as an example, it'd be the same thing where, I mean, if you first introduce yourself, kind of have that initial kind of little talk, that's the same thing as me knocking on your door and be like, hey, I'd like to talk to you. Compared to you going in and just setting up your equipment, to them, it's basically if I went to your house, kicked in your door, and I'm like, all right, where are you?
Yeah.
You'd be like, you want to fight?
I
Like, it's
think
the
that's
same
what
thing.
the problem happens when certain people call themselves investigators come here and they get bad juju put on them, or they get bad problems, and they get attachment for so long like they can't get rid of it. I mean, you just can't do that here. I mean,
Now,
yeah.
I've done one investigation where it was very interesting. That was down in my own hometown. I'm gonna send you a picture of it.
Okay.
Uh, you can put it up if you want.
Hi, Chad. Who did?
That's the first thing Irene said too. They came on.
Um,
Ah, well, so did Chad did come on because I was watching back in the Holy Trinity. And I told him, "Well, Chad, Howard's gonna be on tomorrow on our show." He goes, I said, "You gotta watch it."
he's on. I mean, hell, I think he said he was gonna work from home today.
Yeah.
But I sent y'all that. Did you get that, Amanda? I think I sent one to
I
Irene.
did, yeah.
Is it Akiko or Takoro now?
It's
Akiko,
well,
Akiko is her middle name. Takura is her last name. She can't
She's
have
got two
on Facebook.
Facebook pages.
She can't go on
well,
Facebook her last name because she
I
kept
got
getting
hacked.
hacked into with her last name, so she just went by her middle name,
Yeah, I
Arena
got hacked
Kiku,
3 times.
and she has not, knock on wood, has been hacked since.
Yeah.
Well, I just
There's some
sent
more
y'all some
reason.
pictures, and
There's some
that
more
one's a
reason
picture.
people
Huh?
just want to be Irene.
Oh, so we just call her Irene. Why don't you just erase the rest of them and just call yourself Irene?
Hey, if Sharon Madonna can do it,
Yeah.
But the most famous one I've ever investigated had to be Faith Hathaway. And
Mm.
Faith Hathaway, there's an interesting story behind her. She was murdered in 1980
Mm-hmm.
to the point where she almost was beheaded. She was raped,
Ooh.
and they did a movie about her. And the name of the movie is called Dead Man Walking with
Uh huh.
Susan Sarandon.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
Sarandon and Sean Penn.
Yeah.
And that is actually the murder guy who played, or the guy Sean Penn played, is the one who actually murdered Faith Hathaway, and that's what he was in there for.
Oh.
And what pissed me off about the movie, they made him so like the victim and everything else, and and the guy who actually murdered her, who played the character Sean Penn played, he's buried in the next town over, and that's one of the Willie boys. And we did an investigation. I was going to do a documentary about her
Mm-hmm.
and go to her grave, his grave, and actual murder site. And for some reason, they wouldn't let us get into the murder site. Um, and that was done up towards Franklinton, called Fricky Caves. Um, and but yeah, as soon as I'd be able to get in there, I could finish up and do this documentary on her and then give her props. But when we did her investigation,
Mm-hmm.
I've been to her grave like 3 or 4 times. One of the times I've been there, I brought two young ladies with us, with our team. They come from California, Southern
Mm-hmm.
California, It's the Ghosty Girls.
Yeah,
Um,
I
and
know
these
them.
girls, they started investigating about I think at the age of 8 and 10.
Mm-hmm.
And these little girls here, I mean, young ladies, I should say, um, they I put them up against any veteran paranormal investigator out there today. Um, they've investigated the Omen House. They investigated so many places. It's unbelievable.
Mm.
Uh, but I brought them along, and we went to investigate this grave site. And we did at the grave site. We did what they call the Estes method.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Doc, how's it going? Uh, we did an investigation there, and we did the Estes method, and we started out with one of the young ladies, and they got a few words, and then I had my wife on there, and she got a few words, and then one of our team members, she got on there, and she was she heard a few words, and all of a sudden this deep voice started cursing her out, and come to find out is it was him, the guy who,
Oh,
and he's still tormenting her in death after all that time he was still tormenting her.
How you were
So
in life is how you're gonna be in death.
well,
yeah,
I threatened that he hadn't came back since I've done that, but I threatened to exercise his ass, and he hadn't been back yet to torment us. So we see.
yeah.
We see.
If you're an asshole in life, you're gonna be an asshole in death. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Yes,
That's
how
where
you
I'm
were
going
in
to be.
life is how you be in death. So that's tormenting her in life, definitely tormenting her still in death.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing. So
Damn.
but we got a chance to talk with her, and in that same cemetery, there's some. This is how old the cemetery is. They had some Civil War uh, Confederate soldiers buried in there,
Mm-hmm.
and I've talked to one of them. His name's John, and John, he won't talk to many other people. He'll give a few readings, but when I go in there, he's very chatty with me for some reason. I could just
Mm.
sit down and talk with him. And John is from Ireland, and it
Mm-hmm.
was during the Civil War. Of course, you had people coming into the United States all the time. You had people coming in through New York, and
Mm-hmm.
of course, you had New Orleans was a major port back
Mm-hmm.
then, and you had
Mm-hmm.
people coming in through the South.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as they came off the boats in New York, they gave you want your citizenship, you have to fight for the Union. We did
Mm-hmm.
the same down here. You want your citizenship, you have to fight for the Confederacy. So that's what he did. He was Irish, and they put a gun in his hand and basically shipped him out. And he was murdered, and well, he was killed in action. And every time I talk to him, he tells me the same things where he feels cold, he feels alone, he misses his wife, and he feels dirty. And I try to get him at peace, and he's still clinging on. So hopefully one day I can get him to where he'll release, and he'll just find rest. But that's what
I,
that's what I.
the only way he'll be at rest is if you could find his wife in heaven or wherever she is and
Thing is,
bring
he
them
doesn't want to move
together.
on. He doesn't want to move on.
Well, if
He
you
wants to
bring
he wants to stay here.
if you bring her to visit him, he'll have a chance to choose.
I've
That's
had
what I'm
I've had
hearing.
I wanted to look him up, and I sent
Mm-hmm.
his name uh, to a friend of mine in Ireland, and
Mm-hmm.
she sent it to her friend over there, and they looked him up, and they found his family and everything. His family's aware of where he's buried now, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But it's just that he just doesn't want to move on.
Mm-hmm.
He's just clinging on to here. So
Mm.
maybe
It's kind
eventually
of
one day I can get him to move forward, move on,
yeah.
and he'll find peace. But right now he still wants to be with his wife, and he doesn't understand that I guess it was a fast death.
Mm-hmm.
That he doesn't think he's
He didn't know
dead.
what hit him.
Right? He
Probably.
just doesn't think he's dead. He thinks
Yeah.
So I've told him that, and he just doesn't want to come to the terms with it. It's just something that he's just he's just there. He just doesn't want to move on. I mean, there's other places here. I mean, in New Orleans. I mean, if you want to come down here, there's places. Oh God, there's places you can go.
Oh, I know
And then,
I'll eventually end up there, so I'll have to reach out to you whenever I'm there. So I'll be like,
oh
yeah,
yeah,
Louisiana, let's meet up.
Jean like Jean Lafitte's blacksmith shop. Um, it's a bar,
Mm,
and Jean Lafitte buried some of his treasure in this bar.
mm,
It used to be a blacksmith shop. It was his brother that ran the blacksmith shop, and Jean Lafitte was a pirate, and he would
mm,
plunder and rob off all these ships and everything, and he would bring his treasure, whatever he stole off these other ships,
mhm,
he would bring it to the blacksmith shop, and it would sell out of the blacksmith shop.
mm.
So there's rumors of that place. You could be sitting down there having a beer one night, and you look over, and there's somebody in period clothing drinking out of a stein or something, and then be standing next to you. You just don't know. There's a lot of pictures that what they show. Anybody can Google it, I guess. There's pictures of full body entities and everything else in that place. You got the Ursuline Convent.
Mhm.
Tell you stories about that place. It used to be a wrought iron fence. They used to encircle the nunnery, and the nuns haven't lived there. And God, they pretty much abandoned the place, but it's still the building there and everything, and it's still owned by the church. And during Hurricane Katrina, of course, we had that massive water that came in and everything. But it ruined the
Yeah.
fence. It knocked down the wrought iron fence. It's beautiful ironwork, Spanish ironwork, and it destroyed the fences. So what they did is they put up a cinder block wall around this place. Well, while they were digging up the uh, the wrought iron fencing of this place, um, they came across bodies. It was like 100 or so bodies, and they were all babies.
Hmm.
Well, back then, the convent, you took unwed mothers in,
Mhm.
and it wasn't, when in the South back then, you got pregnant, and you wasn't married, oh, hell no, they shipped your ass off.
Mhm.
You just didn't want to hear that. That was a big sin.
Mhm.
And a lot of these mothers gave birth, and you don't know what happened to those babies. Did they
Yeah.
actually die in childbirth, or did they, you just don't know. Well,
Mhm.
when you walk past that wall at night, and I don't give a shit if you're the biggest man in the world or the tiniest woman in the world, that doesn't matter. You hear these babies crying, and it just brings tears to your eyes. You know the story, you can hear and there's nothing you can do. And that's one of the saddest things that's ever happened. I mean, that you can deal with there. It gives you that feeling of, if you ever been in an investigation, depending on what's going on in there, you get different feelings. You can get
Mhm.
sometimes
Yeah.
you get angry because you have an angry spirit. You have sad. Get depressed because you have something that's a suicide possibly or something in there. That you actually feel those feelings that the entity or spirit has put, thrown at you, and you have that feeling of lostness and sadness when you walk past this wall, and especially when you start hearing these cries. Um, so that's one story of that place. You have the story of it's on top of the teacup, I believe it used to be called. Um, Back then, if you owned a plantation, you had a wife, you had money,
Mhm.
basically aristocrat of New Orleans. Um, of course, you had your wife and your family, but you also had a mistress,
Mhm. Yeah.
and you took care of your mistress. And your wife knew about it, but that was accepted. Um, this one guy, he had a mistress that she was Creole, and a lot of Creoles, half black, half white, and stuff like that. Um, because the plantation owners used to basically rape the slaves or whatever, um, and had babies. But
Mhm.
anyway, she was a Creole. She was very beautiful, and this guy put her up in the city like an apartment, and it It was in the middle of the French Quarter, and his wife passed away. So when his wife passed away, she like I said, she's the mistress, and she thought, well, since she's passed away, I'm going to be next in line. I'm going to get married. Well, back then you just didn't marry.
No.
You know, you couldn't. A white man could not marry. You had to marry a white woman.
Yeah.
There was no interracial marriages involved. You could not marry out of your race back then. Not in New Orleans anyway.
You never married out of your. If you're a homeowner, you never married anyone below you either, or or or
That would
you
be
had
fine
to.
if he was a mistress. I mean, if he took her in and had her as a mistress,
Yeah.
that was accepted.
Yeah, but you couldn't marry them either because they were below you in society as a homeowner or as a person who owned a big amount of property. They did that here too. They never married their mistress. They always kept them as uh, somebody who'd take care of the house, but a housekeeper. That was it.
Oh no, these people here, well, they had their own housekeepers. You was a
Yeah,
mistress. It was just like you was married, but you was taken care of.
yeah.
Anyway, she kept nagging him, and one night he was playing chess with one of his friends, drinking
Mhm.
brandy and smoking cigars by the fireplace and everything. They were having a good old time, and
Mhm.
she kept nagging him. And this is back in February in New Orleans, and if you ever been to New Orleans, that time of the year it gets really cold in
Mhm.
February. Hey Nancy, and it gets really really cold in New Orleans, and it especially when it rains. It
Mhm.
doesn't snow. We have liquid snow here,
Mhm.
and we it gets to the point when the water hits you, it freezes on your skin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's how
Mhm.
cold.
Mhm.
Uh, so he told it was raining and it was miserable that night and everything. He said, "You know what? You want to be my wife?" He tells her this. Um, Coldest night of the year. Then, if you want to marry me, what you would have to do is go on top of the roof naked and stay overnight.
Ooh.
So you know he knew that she wasn't going to do that,
Mhm.
and because it was cold night. So night goes on and on and on, and they pass out. And these guys drinking brandy and stuff. They pass out, and next morning he wakes up and he goes to the room to go lay down where she was going to be at, and the bed's still made up. So he's calling for her and couldn't find her, and he said, "I hope she didn't do what she." And he looked through the house and he went to the roof, and
Hmm.
there she was, clutched up next to the fireplace, naked. And he brought her downstairs, put her in the bed, and she had froze to death overnight. So she lost her life. Well, he died later on. You know, he didn't want to go back to the plantation. He stayed in that house, that apartment. Well, every year in February, the anniversary of her death, you'll see a bunch of young men standing out there in front of that place looking up because her spirit, you can see her clutching up against the fireplace nude. Well, he passed away, and during the daytime, you can walk past the balcony and you could smell cigar smoke. And there's nobody smokes cigars in that area.
Mhm.
I mean, you could just be standing and there's always a cigar smoke smell. So that's where he would sit on the balcony every day, just smoking his cigars. So that was the most, it's kind of a romantic story, but then again, it's a horror story.
Mhm.
Uh, then probably the most haunted house that we have right now, probably in the world, is the Laurie Mansion,
Heard of that, yeah.
and it's for sale.
I saw that, but it's like over $1 million.
It's actually $10.5 million.
Oh, if we didn't buy this house, we could have bought that one.
No, that's in American money, Irene,
American money.
which probably be about almost $1 billion in yen.
Hmm.
Come flash that
I do
yen over
want
here.
that house, but there's no way I'll get $10.5 million to buy it.
Of course, y'all know the story about the LaLaurie mansion.
Hmm.
Do you know the
What's the
story?
story of it? No, what's the story?
Oh God, it's a horror story.
I've heard of
Uh,
it before. It's with a woman, right?
yeah, Madame LaLaurie.
Hmm.
Uh, she would buy slaves and bring them into her house. Slaves would go in, but none would come out.
Oh.
Um, what she would do is she would take her slaves and she would do medical experiments on them. She would break bones and set them in different ways. Like one person
Oh.
they found that looked like a crab was walking on its hind, backwards with its head back. It looked like a horror story.
Oh.
Well, one day the fire department got a call that was at the the Lori mansion, and they went in, and the fire brigade breaks in, and what they found was one of the slaves chained to the stove, and she just couldn't take it no more, and she caught the place on fire. She was going to kill herself, and then she didn't care. She was going to burn it down. Uh, One person that they found, he had no face. His face was completely taken off, and they had maggots all over it and everything. And they go to move him. They think he's gone, but he's still alive.
Ooh.
This person was still alive. Well, Madame LaLaurie, she fled uh, when the house was on fire. It was like one of the scenes that you see in one of these movies where they break out and they just haul an ass out of there.
Hmm.
She was in a carriage and she got on a boat from the New Orleans to the North Shore where I live at. And from here, they don't know what happened to her. Either she went back to France, Paris, or she stayed in the United States, stayed close by. They don't know. There's so many stories on where she could have possibly ended up. But later on, of course, they got all the slaves out. One little girl, she uh, used to be Madame LaLaurie's little, they hired little, but she had slave little girls that would comb her hair. One of them pulled a knot in her hair too hard, so she threw her out of the third story window, and she died instantly. I mean, you're going off of 3 stories, you're going to die head first. Well, years later, they're going to renovate the house, renovate the mansion. So they started putting up floorboards and stuff like that, and because it was messed up, burnt, and it was just tore up, walls and stuff. And when they were doing that, they were finding bones. She would take, in other words, after the slaves would die, she would bury them in the house.
Hmm.
It's like a house of bones situation. She had slaves buried all in that house. Well, now
Ooh.
that they go in that place now, that's probably why it's known as one of the most haunted places in the world. Because you see all kind of shadow play. You see angry spirits. You see it's everything in there. Matter of fact, Jack Osborne's been in there twice, and they don't let nobody go in that place. Nobody. Uh, but now since it's up for sale, we're kind of hoping that it'll open up the idea of us, having people come in and doing tours, but actually doing investigations back, bringing investigations back to the place. But hopefully, fingers crossed. But that's basically the story of the Luri Mansion. It's just like the Sultan's
Definitely,
Palace.
definitely gonna depend on the owner. I can see why though now, especially nowadays, how people are. Why a lot of the owners of haunted places don't want to open up. It's just because, especially with the younger
Hmm.
paranormal investigators, a lot of them go in. They're just so disrespectful. Don't follow
Right,
rules. Just do what
Yeah.
they want. They're like, well,
right.
this is probably going to get the attention on social media. So, yeah, Howard said this is a rule here, but I don't care. I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
And I've argued with so many teams at locations because the owners will be like, here are the rules. But of course, they're just like, I'm going to do this anyways. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
they have that rule for a reason. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if I want to do it or how I
Yeah.
feel about it. It's the fact they have that rule for a reason. So I'm not gonna disrespect someone. I want to be able to come back. And
Yeah.
a lot of people don't realize that. Be careful who you
They ruin it
investigate
for
with.
other people as well. I mean, because once they get pissed off and they're not going to want you to come in, that's it.
Yeah. Mhm. That's true.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people. There was a owner who's of a location who says one of them was don't do Ouija boards or seances, and they don't realize just because the owner's not with you, or he might be like in the office, he still knows what you're doing, and he knew that they were doing a seance. Like, he just got up, he walked over, he's like, no, none of this. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
Boot your ass out right then and there.
Yeah,
And
that's
it
what they
was,
said. I'm like, and I get that because and I also say that I'm like, I'm not gonna, if you want to come back and come back and break the rules, that's on you. But as long as I'm here, you're not breaking the rules just because, unfortunately, if someone in a group breaks the rules, that also goes with you. And
Everybody.
and then why did the owner want you back knowing that you were with that group who broke whatever rule?
well, see, the owners now, the ones that own the place now, they didn't want people coming in. It was a private residence.
Mhm.
Okay, and for them, they live there. I mean, it's more like a summer home because it's someone who's very rich that owns the place, and this is like like a vacation house basically. And this place is in. I mean, from the pictures and everything, I was, it's beautiful in that home. It's beautiful. It's well decorated. It's beautiful, and it's their private home, and they just don't want people in their home.
Mhm.
They don't have,
I get that.
Yeah.
it, I'm sure they were told that it was haunted, but they don't, they don't give a shit. That's their home.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
stay out of my shit.
Yeah. You know, I understand that too. You don't want anybody trampling in your home and doing all kinds of crazy shit in your home.
I mean, it's
Exactly.
like now they have a place in New Orleans called the Sultan's Palace.
Mm.
You can look this up online. All these places I'm telling you, you can look up online.
Hmm.
Um, the Sultan's Palace. There was a guy who came in from one of these, Far East places, and he pretended to be the Sultan there, but his brother was actually the Sultan. And what they were doing is they were torturing people in that place. Um,
Dang.
they would bring in people. They would take people off the streets, just grab you and drag you. They would basically kidnap you, and you
Oh.
was used as my granddaughter. You're gonna see the fight go on in here. Look, Chad's in here, Sydney.
Yeah.
Y'all two fucking lovebirds. But uh, the Sultan found out about it. They were raping people and stuff in that place. I mean, it was crazy. Um, but the Sultan found out about it, so he sent assassins, and they killed everybody in that building. Everybody, even if you was just walking past it, you got killed. I mean, that's what they did. And to this day, there's people buried in the courtyard because these big places have courtyards.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh
feel
dear.
magic, feel the magic working. But to this day, now they took the place and they renovated it into apartments, and you cannot do any investigating in the apartment building at all. That's one of the things. Now there was someone about 3 years ago,
Mhm.
3 years ago that went in and did an investigation because this person wanted to get out of a lease, and they
Mhm.
wound up going in there and they did an investigation, proving that the place was haunted, and they were able to get out of their lease.
Mhm.
But to this day, I mean, you just can't investigate that place. It's a private, private apartments. So you have that. I mean, there's so many places. La Petite Theater, God, the mortuary. I mean, there's so many places in New Orleans that are haunted. You could do an
Mhm.
investigation if you just wanted to set your mind on one place. I mean, Jesus, there's so much history. So
It is
much history.
on my bucket list to see the Voodoo Queens.
Marie Laveau.
Yeah, see her
She's not
grave.
buried there. She's not buried there in cemetery number one. Though. You know that, right?
Did they move her? Did they move
They
the
moved.
grave or her in it?
They just moved her.
Was it because it was? I know way too many people vandalized her
Right.
Was she in a mausoleum? I can't remember if she was in a mausoleum.
It was a mausoleum. It was an upright mausoleum. One of the big things that you walk into, and people would go out there and leave offerings and stuff, and you would draw three X's on a mausoleum, and they just kind of it was graffiti all over it.
Yeah,
So
I've heard that.
they moved her grave. They moved her body rather. The
People
grave's
just
still there.
people don't respect cemeteries anymore.
No.
No. And the thing is, you go to a cemetery and you go there for a time of grieving, a time of loss, and then there's a lot of sadness there, and you can feel that if you just passing through a cemetery, you can feel it. You can feel the loss, and people don't think that when, like myself, I go visit my daughter, that the attachments that you can actually bring home with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just go and visit a lost loved one, that you could pick up these attachments and then they'll follow you. So I mean, if you're in the paranormal and you just go and just say visit mom or your brother or sister, whatever the case may be, and you're coming home, make sure you do a cleansing. You don't want to bring something home that you picked up out of a cemetery.
That's what Irene can tell you. Here in Japan, if you go to a funeral, you're given a little packet of sea salt, and before you go home, you kind of cleanse yourself with sea salt before you're able to walk in the door.
Right.
Good
They don't
to
do that.
Yeah. They do that every funeral here.
Yeah, I mean,
And plus, you don't go to the cemetery unless you have business in a cemetery. Here, that's what they say here. So, even my son will say that too.
I'll show you. This is one. This is where my family will send it to you. Jessica's not buried here, but she soon will be.
There's a lot of traditions here. It's funny because there's a lot of traditions here in Japan
Mm-hmm.
that involves the like the ancestors. However, when it comes to the actual paranormal, they do not acknowledge it. They
No.
avoid it. If it's said to be haunted, the sleeve is really badly haunted.
Mm-hmm.
They close it up for the public, and I think it's more of a fear.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a fear of them upsetting the spirits because they don't know what to do if they upset a spirit. They just
Yeah.
don't know what to do here if they upset a spirit.
Yeah.
Now I sent you my. This is our grave site. I don't know if you.
Can you post it up there, Amanda?
I can see.
Hmm?
Jessica's buried. Jessica's buried in a wall, but she's going to be moved out of the wall, and she's going to be put into that because it was finally finished.
Mm.
Yeah, well, there's also there's so majority of shrines and even temples here are built
Mm-hmm.
to appease
The dead.
angry spirits because they don't know what else to do. That's why there's a lot of shrines, as they built
Yeah.
shrines just
Can you name a
dedicated
person?
hoping.
Would you want to die? Would you want to die?
No.
Well, you'd be pissed off if you was dead, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can say that the cemetery, 99% of them in there is pissed off people because they're dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 90% of the shrines, especially the ones that my family, my ancient relatives created, were all. It's the most haunted area in the whole place, and yeah. And in fact, they just found a whole bunch of bones of all these samurai warriors on the beach. They just dug them up. They just found them all on the beach, and they were all killed. Some of them had heads, some of them didn't have heads, and they're just riddled. The beach is just riddled with bones. But unfortunately, they're gonna be going to.
Japan or one of the islands outside of Japan?
It's not. It's on near the temple where I go to.
Because back then, I mean, during World War II, that the Japanese people were told don't get captured by the Americans. Blah blah. They're angry and they'll torture you and do all these evil things to you. And a lot of them jumped off of cliffs and
Yeah.
some that committed suicide.
Yeah.
Uh, could it be some of these people that might have done that?
Nope. These are all samurai warriors who were beheaded and were killed. There's another island off of Tokyo that my daughter went to for summer vacation for 3 days excursion. That place is riddled with World War II bones, and they had you can't get there unless you go on a boat. So they had the helicopters going in there retrieving the bones and bringing them back to Tokyo to get DNA to get the DNA from them, and they're gonna I think they're gonna bury them or give them a proper funeral. But yeah,
Did they have dinosaur DNA mixed with them?
yeah,
I was thinking maybe Godzilla took a shit.
nah, that's
No,
probably in the mountains.
that's in the mountain.
Yeah, Howard is a Godzilla fan. Okay.
Oh my god, I am. You know what I just saw that they're getting ready to release on Netflix they had Godzilla -1
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm.
came out, and that was a good movie. But
It was.
yeah, but that was in color. They're doing it
Mhm.
in black and white.
Yeah.
They're gonna sit. They're releasing that in black and white. And I've seen and God, man, that looks real. I mean, that looks like the old Godzillas of the past. And I'm like, I can't wait for that. I'll rewatch it in black and white.
You know the lady who was in the hospital in the last scene? They thought she was dead. She has a mark on her neck, right? The next movie that's going to come out is the one Bioranta. It's the one that looks like a
Yeah,
rose.
the flower.
Yeah, she's going to be the next one that comes out that turns into that.
I didn't
She
like that. It was too damn.
she has a mark on her neck of that. She was marked by Godzilla.
That I didn't like that one. That wasn't a well-made movie. I just
Yeah.
didn't find the storyline with that. What, a monster looked like a flower. No,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a rose.
I
A
didn't like it.
Yeah, but she's the next one is gonna be her who's gonna come out and who's gonna fight with Godzilla. I think
Yeah.
battle with him.
I mean, I'd rather watch the ones I'm gonna be like the one that had Godzilla versus King Kong
Yeah,
Mm.
and all that shit. I didn't like them. I mean, I
yeah,
watched it, but I didn't like them because it's too Americanized. I mean,
hmm
it's not what it was supposed to be. If it's, I like the ones that are made by Toho,
yeah,
and those are really great Godzilla. They're the ones who originated it. I mean,
yeah,
why mess with the formula?
yeah.
So
So it's gonna be interesting what happens in the next
I love
one.
Godzilla. I do love
Yeah,
Godzilla. I watch
we
that
we
shit.
we gotta watch that one.
A lot of unfortunate, a lot of movies that they did in the United States that were originally in Japan. I feel like they just made them too Americanized, where
Yeah,
it's not the same. Like
Yeah,
I
look,
used to
really,
watch a lot of horror movies over here that started over here that was adapted over the United States, and I'm just like, I'd rather watch the Japanese version just
yeah,
because it's creepier or whatever reason. It's just
yeah. You know what? The ones in American made were mostly of crazy people who wear a mask or whatever, and they start killing people. It's like okay, yeah. So what else is doing? Like, kind of boring. I kind of laugh at it because it's really not uh uh a good horror movie, right? So, and I watch the ones here. I say, oh well, yeah, this is really cool. Like, gotta watch this one instead. So I really don't watch those other ones because they're kind of boring.
they are. I
Uh,
like the one with Matthew Broderick. I'd laugh at that shit. I mean, it was stupid. It was totally stupid. I mean, they made Godzilla look like it's a big square head. I mean, no,
yeah, and
that shit.
it looks like it like a like a lizard or something.
Right. Well, that's what it is. I mean, it's kind of supposed to look like the head was too big. It wasn't. It wasn't. I can believe the body part, but the head part, no, that was too. No.
it was kind of freaky looking, right? And
Right.
the story didn't have a story. Godzilla had a reason because man was polluting the water, and they're polluting the island. So Godzilla said to protect the land, protect the water, and protect everything. It, they had they had a function, and she didn't like anybody messing around, making red tide or whatever. And she didn't like that. So she wanted people to understand that you don't do this to the land. You protect the land. You don't make chemicals. You don't mess with the water. You don't mess with the island.
Radiation from
Yeah,
it's off of
yeah,
Bikini Island. That's what that supposedly had happened. Look,
yeah.
Irene, it's Godzilla. Look, Godzilla.
Ooh, I like that one. I like that one. Yeah, Godzilla was a female. she, she had a baby. Her baby was named Minina.
I don't see no vagina.
She did have a. It was a female.
No, we don't. Look, see, there's nothing there.
Howard, stop it.
So the interesting thing is here, everyone, if you didn't know, Godzilla was actually said to have actually existed at one point
Yeah,
here in Japan.
yeah.
I know. That's why if I go to Japan, that's the only thing I'm going for. Go to Toho
It
Production,
either
go and go hunt Godzilla.
it
You know
either
what?
went back into the water, or some
Yeah,
people think it went into
volcano.
the volcanoes, so like
Yeah,
Mount Fuji or something. So
because
he
they
could
So,
be
did.
she could be living in Mount
so
Fuji.
it's a cryptid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Falls in the paranormal field.
yeah,
Yeah, it was an actual cryptid here in Japan.
yeah. The scientists are saying that it did exist, and other scientists are saying, "Nah, that's not true." And they said, "How do you know it's not true?" Because it did exist long time ago, and it lived near where vol- volcanic lava lived, were coming out of the volcano. So that's the only place where it existed. And they're saying, and that's what Japanese scientists are saying now. They come up and they even said that.
Well, isn't it part of Japanese lore? And usually, when happens, lore has had to be a story from something. I
Yeah,
mean,
Mhm.
so to me, that it makes perfectly sense. I mean,
yeah,
the other monsters, I can see that was eventually made up monsters. Like I don't know about Ghidra. I mean, Ghidra's was free. Mothra. I mean, I
mm-hmm,
could see bugs back in those days. I mean, you look in Loch Ness. You got the Loch Ness monster, Scotland.
yeah,
I mean, you
yeah,
got Champ that's in the United States. You have all
mm-hmm,
these dinosaurs and stuff. People seeing them and everything. Why not have a Godzilla in Japan?
yeah.
You know,
The
And
funny
you,
thing is, here in Japan, we have two of our own Loch Ness monsters. One is in the north.
mm-hmm,
They did nickname these after the Loch Ness monster, because obviously Loch Ness monster, everyone calls him Nessie. So over
mm-hmm,
here, the one in the north is called Nissie. And then
mm-hmm,
the one in the south, which is at the other side of the island from me, his name is Issy. And they're supposed to look similar, but they
who
might be.
named them?
I don't know who named them over here. I just remember that's what they, like, scientists or the people named
mm-hmm.
them. They just want to nickname them after the Loch Ness monster because that's what it looks like to them. It looked like the Loch Ness
But
monster,
it's
but
not
it's
like Loch Ness. It's Japan, so they shouldn't have named it after something in Loch Ness. They should have named it like give it a Japanese name.
I agree
Yeah,
with that. But for some odd reason, they just said it looks like the Loch Ness monster. It must be one of their species, so let's just go ahead and nickname it with that because it looks like it. But
It's a freaking
the one
kaiju, man.
the
yeah,
one in the north and the south,
yeah,
they just vary in size and the color.
yeah.
It's a kaiju.
Yeah, it is. It is a kaiju. Um, there's lots of stuff. There's lots of weird things in this country. Uh, so many cryptids like you wouldn't believe it, and there's so many UFO sightings here too. It's just unbelievable. I mean,
That's the United States watching you.
yeah, no, it isn't. We got a military base off of here where I live. They
Man,
always
the
come,
lives there. I mean, what the hell?
man, and yeah, you don't know what the Marines are or the Navy's doing here because they're both here. It's just yeah. Um, but it's not that because they're near um the power
Howard
plants.
watching you. Yes, he clearly has his own UFOs too.
Yeah,
He's
the
looking
power
for.
plant.
He's over there looking for Godzilla in Mount Fuji.
I
Mount
know.
Uh,
Fiji.
They're looking in the wrong place. He's in the ocean.
Well, some
well, they
people
got
believe
that
she's in the
too.
ocean, but some of the locals here think that she just went back into
Yeah.
Mount Fuji. Yeah.
They found him in the mountains before. A couple of movies, they found him in the mountains. They found him in the ocean. They found him in the ice. He's all over the place. You don't know where.
You find everything in the mountains here, though.
Yeah, and you find everything in fresh water here too.
I'd love to go see like the isn't that in Japan or the terracotta soldiers and stuff like that that they have
That's China.
from the emperors. That's in China.
That's it.
I'd like to go see that, but I'm not going to go to China anytime
Yeah,
soon.
I'm not going to China, so
Neither. Um, it there's a
Samurai,
little.
don't they have the samurai like the houses where they like the old Japanese homes and stuff? I mean, they like the authentic ones back way back in the 17th, 16th, 17th, 18th century or whatever they call them.
Hmm.
It's like the picture behind Amanda right there, but the old style, the roofs like
Yeah,
that, like the
yeah,
shrine. I'd love to go see
yeah.
the shrines and stuff like that.
Well, when are you coming?
I don't know.
every shrine is beautiful here to me. It's just absolutely
Yeah,
beautiful. The details.
yeah. Well, I did invite you.
I'm waiting for the emperor to invite me.
I did
He was,
invite you.
but I'm waiting for the emperor.
Still
The emperor's
waiting.
gonna say, "Come on in."
I'm still waiting for you.
I'm waiting the kabuki.
We're gonna road trip in October, Howard.
You, Amanda,
Yeah,
where
and
y'all going?
a couple of other friends
You going to
from.
Suicide Forest?
Yep, Suicide Waterfall, Suicide Forest. Couple of samurai shoguns burial plots. They're pretty active. Some only has the heads buried there, but yeah, it's okay.
All it
But
takes.
yeah, so we're gonna go there. There's a road leading up to that Suicide Forest. It's all haunted. It's just
See, that's why I mean. I'd love to go to Suicide Forest, but then again, I kind of like no. Uh, Simple reason. I mean, it doesn't bother me that it's haunted. It bothers me if you were to walk in there and find a body.
I'm glad
And
you have. I'm, I'm glad that's how you feel, due to the fact is Logan Paul is not well. He's not welcome back in Japan
no,
because he went to
no.
the suicide forest. He found a body. He even publicly posted this. He found a body. He laughed at it. He touched it, and that set everyone here off. They're like, and it's
Did
funny because
did he
WWE,
kick it with his foot too? Did
he
he
might
touch it?
have, because I just
He might.
remember hearing he touched it and that upset everyone.
well, that's respect.
'Cause
I mean, if you ever smelt a dead body, that is, even if it's fresh, I mean, someone who passed away within 24 hours. Um, I've been to autopsies and stuff, and that is the most. It's not looking at it; it's the smell,
Yeah,
and that's what gets you nauseated.
that's why
Uh,
he's not safe coming here to Japan. Because WWE came out and announced they're doing a Japan tour, but they said, unfortunately, with him, he has prior commitments and not able to make it. I'm like, he's not welcome back. That's why he's not on the Japan tour.
Nope.
After that, he knows he's not welcome back. He's not safe.
Mm-mm.
I mean, that's the first thing you would want to do is if you had a cell phone. There's cell phones and stuff working as far as.
Um,
I mean, if cameras are working, I guess it's to do reception, if anything.
it does.
I would have called someone if I would have found a body
Yeah.
and reported right then and there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
But
stay with
apparently
it.
he didn't.
Get the body out at least anyway.
There's another place that I told my husband that we want to go to. That we wanted to go to the Howling Village, which is not too far where Amanda lives, and my husband knows because he lived not too far away from that. He was born in that area, and he knows that area for sure. But you know what, Amanda? They blocked off the tunnel, so you can't get in the tunnel anymore.
Yeah, because too many murders happened in that tunnel. That's why they had to also block it off, as people are still using it for that reason.
But the village, I think you can go to the village. I want to go to the village. I told my husband, we want to go to the village. He goes, you're kidding. He goes, yeah. He goes,
People
okay.
have, from what it looks like, it's fenced off to go
Yeah.
into the forest, but people have found a way. I don't know if there's a gate or whatever, because I've seen pictures of like a fence going into the forest, but other people have found ways into the forest
Mm-hmm.
to get to it.
But I want to go there.
It's all for a reason.
I know. It was really bad.
I would never go alone, just because the fact is they said squatters live there now. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
there's still that sign outside of that village that says Japanese law does not exist beyond this point. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not going in there alone.
Why Japanese law doesn't make any sense.
So yeah, so it's called the Inunaki Village. How where, as Irene even says, the Howling Dog Village in English. How it started was it was a bunch of outlaws got together and they said we're sick and tired of having to obey Japanese law. So they went to the forest, they built their own little village there. They even put up a sign that, like, as I said, Japanese law does not exist beyond this point. And anything and everything happens in that town. So anything you can think of, bad wise, it happened there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
My
And the
husband knows
government
that.
didn't go in and do anything about it.
I think, well, now the residents are no longer there. They said squatters might be there, but still, with that sign there, if I saw a squatter, I wouldn't chance it.
It's the most notorious place that's freaky haunted, and my husband knows of it growing up as a child. He goes, "Oh, I know where it is. That's not too far away from where I grew up from." "Oh yeah, well, I could take you there," he said.
He's taking you there for a
Yes.
reason. I've seen how you talk to your husband. He's taking you there for a purpose.
Like, yeah, I'll show you where this is.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
He just
Oh,
coincidentally raised a life insurance on you before you guys left.
my husband has life insurance. I don't.
I'd love for y'all if y'all get a chance. I know it's quite a bit of a drive for y'all, but uh, visit Nagasaki or Hiroshima, and I'd love
Yeah.
to see y'all take pictures of them walls where people were actually imprinted from the bomb when when they dropped the bombs down in Japan back during World War II. I mean, you said
Um.
that it's still on the streets and everything on the walls. They imprinted.
Nagasaki area is 2 hours drive from me, and Hiroshima is supposed to be like 5.5 hour drive for me.
I've been to Hiroshima. I've done my investigation there. Man, if they know that, let's put it this way, they got you pegged if you could see them. They said, "I got you. I know you can see me, so I got you," and they watch you. Even if you're sitting on a damn bus, they'll watch you. Because if you can, they can see the dome. It's really high up. And they said, "Ha ha." If you can see the dome, they said, "Ha ha, I got you." Because that place is totally haunted. Man, it's so bad you wouldn't believe it. And when you go there, there's this really uh, heavy. You can't breathe when you go there. It's just terrible. It's one of the most daunting feelings you've ever been, if you've ever been there. And they have it all fenced off.
And that's why I'm telling you, you need to go so you can see it. Show me pictures.
Well, I got pictures. I did a podcast
You
from
can
there.
Google pictures. I can Google. I want to see it live. I want to see you sitting in there touching the. I want to see a ghost attack you. I want to see this.
Then you gotta come. I'll take you there.
Well, I'm going to be flying halfway around the world, and you want me to then go drive 5 hours? Man, that's no.
My husband will drive
I
you
told
five
you
hours.
I'm going. I'm going to see one thing. Once I'm going to Toho and I'm hunting Godzilla. That's all I'm going to do.
Well, we'll fly to Hiroshima. Okay, we don't we don't drive. We fly.
We drive.
Yeah, we fly. It only take what is it? It's only like 30 or $40 to go there.
It's cheaper to fly here than taking the train.
Yeah, we
Because I know
fly
a lot of people
everywhere.
are like, why don't you just take the bullet train? I'm like, well, that first of all, that's the most expensive
Yeah,
form of transportation. Second of all, even if I did take a regular train, that's still a lot more money than if I just went bought
and it
airplane
takes a long
ticket.
time to get there, right? So
Yeah,
if you leave in the morning, you'll be there at nighttime, and you lose half the daytime, your daylight when you could be having fun. So it only takes what, an hour and a half to fly there, and then
Not if you
you must
leave early in the morning. If you leave like 3 o'clock in the morning, you could be there when the sun comes.
nah. None of the trains work at 3 o'clock in the morning. They all start at what, 6 o'clock? I
I'm talking
think.
about driving. I'm talking about just drive. Shit, might as well drive it. That's when you get to
Nah,
see the country.
we fly everywhere.
But you're missing out on the country.
Nah. But it's cheaper. Like I'll spend $30 to take an airplane there,
I mean,
and I can.
I've driven from shit. I've been to Kansas. I've been Kentucky, Tennessee,
yeah,
Georgia,
but it's also,
Mississippi,
I mean,
Alabama, Texas, Arkansas,
gas,
Oklahoma.
gas wise, I think it's cheaper to also fly too, especially
Yeah,
because wherever you are, you have to pay to park
yeah.
as
It,
well.
Arkansas.
So
I've driven to Oklahoma. I've driven to Oklahoma, and that's a 10, 12 hour trip. Yeah, 12 hours, and I just go nonstop. I just pit stop just to get gas and go.
yeah. Here it's cheaper to fly because gas is expensive in Japan, right, Amanda?
It's expensive here.
yeah, I was gonna say it's expensive everywhere. That's also why
Yeah,
it's sometimes not worth the drive
yeah,
because you also have not only gas but the tolls everywhere really adds up.
yeah. Depending on how big a car is, depending on how much you pay in the toll.
Wow.
Yeah,
Your
and
your license plate color is based on your engine size here, so that's how they know.
yeah,
You also have to have a sticker besides the license plate number. Besides the license plate color, you also have to have like there's a sticker somewhere on your car that's numbered. That also tells them this more of the size of your engine.
and when your last when you had your car last hauled over, they have that sticker on there too. And if you have a parking spot too, that's another sticker that
Oh, by law, yeah, because here the reason why you have to have that is by law.
Mm-hmm.
Every car you have to own a parking spot for that
Mm-hmm.
car.
Yeah.
You
It's
have
Yeah,
it's it.
why is it so fucked up in Japan? Why?
so you have to show them either if you live in an apartment, the lease that has your name on it that shows exactly where your parking spot is, if it's numbered, what number it is. I
Mm-hmm.
think, homeowner, you have to show the homeowner one too if you own the house.
Yeah.
And then you don't just then the police, then takes a few days to process. That's because they actually have a police officer go out to verify the spot you claim you have to make sure it's
Mhm.
actually there.
And you have to do it through the government office too.
What's the
Yeah.
If you have
purpose of all that? What is the purpose?
in case where you park your car, it has to have a proper spot. If it doesn't, it gets towed away.
You can't just you can't just park on the side of the road in front of your house. It has to be an
No.
See that
actual
here?
Uh,
assigned parking spot.
That doesn't
And
make
even
any sense.
yeah.
and even if you say, "Oh, I have a driveway that can fit 2 cars," it's still numbered. Like car 1 is A,
Yeah.
car 2 B, or whatever, or even numbered 1 or 2 or
But
whatever it
why?
is.
What's the purpose in that?
Because they don't want any cars without a person without a spot to park in.
You ever heard
It's
first come
all
first?
registered with the government office here and the
It's just a
police
waste.
department.
Just a waste of resources. That's all that is.
I think so too, especially when they said we had to have it's going to take a few days for this part to process before you can move on to the next, just because the police want to go and verify that it actually exists. And I didn't just make and
Yeah.
forge some paperwork. But
It's
that
just a waste of
paperwork
Yeah.
you
resources.
also give to them to verify has to have a map
Yeah.
of the building
Yeah.
and the parking lot and where exactly it's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
And have to have a picture of the parking lot too.
Yeah, with a picture and there'd be like a dot or an X where your parking spot is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well, if I was that way, I'd get Irene. I would get out there in your bikini and just take a picture in front of your parking spot and send that in. And then you send
Well, I
another one.
have a parking spot.
That's
I
parking
have a
spot
parking
A.
spot.
Parking spot B is when you're in the nude. Go ahead and stand out there naked and take a picture and send it to them. That's B.
I have a parking spot with my house. I have a parking spot with my house. My house has a parking spot in front of it
Do you have a car?
because my husband takes the train.
So he walks down to the
I
train?
thought your husband had a car.
Yep,
Damn.
he takes the train. If we
So
need,
you got a
we
parking
rent a
spot. All
car.
that shit was done for nothing because you don't even have a car. That's what I'm saying. It's a waste of resource.
But
The
it
money
comes
that
with
they
the
pay for
house.
that, they put it towards something else.
No, it comes with the house. Our property's ours. It
Yeah, but you
comes
have to have
with the
the
house. The property.
spot registered and all that shit. That's all. That's bullshit.
Well, it's already registered. We don't have. We just have to.
It's all
We don't have
bullshit,
to
though.
do
I
anything.
mean, it's all bullshit. You still have to register your car if you get a car. Certain plates and all the 10,000 fucking stickers that go on it.
Oh, it is such a process. It took us
Yeah,
like 2 days to fully do the process because they make you go to like 50 different places to get
yeah,
the car registered. It's the most ridiculous thing we've ever done. And we didn't
yeah.
realize when we started it because we were like, we'll just do it. It won't take that long. But then as soon as you go to one office, get whatever they need to do, they send you somewhere else that's usually not even close. So it usually takes 2 days to do the whole thing.
Yeah. That's true. It's okay, but we don't have an HOA here, so everything belongs to us. If we
You're
buy a
allowed
house,
to
We have an
build.
HOA.
nope.
Well, you also don't need permits to do anything. Like if you want to build your own little separate building on your property, You can do that without having to go and get a permit. You want to
You can
remodel
do
your
that
house?
here. You can do that
Hmm?
here. It's just an add-on. That's all it is. They can't tell you nothing for an add-on.
No. In some states they do. In some states they don't allow it, right?
I don't know.
So usually when you remodel or add on or something, there's usually permits. Usually there's permits in America you have to get, but here you just do it.
Not where I live. I mean, shit. You just do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But we also
Here
have a
too.
lot of hurricanes that come through here too. So I mean, they
That's
kind
probably
of.
why they're just used to you guys. It's like, yeah, it's probably torn down anyway. The next time a hurricane comes.
I'm gonna build me a jacuzzi hot tub out back. Yeah, I'm gonna do that with a little bit, and then next summer comes along and it's gone. And I want
That's
to
the
swim
hard.
anyway. There you
We
go.
got we have hurricanes too, but I live on a hill,
More
so
typhoons here, more.
yeah. I got earthquakes too, so
Well, I know that
She's just
that
so
last
used
hurricane.
to she's so used to earthquakes that it doesn't even bother her anymore. We did a podcast. There's an earthquake, and she kept going. I'm like, "Are you sure you're okay, Rain?" Yeah. She's just so used to it by now that it's just nothing new. They just wait it out. We were guests on one podcast, and
it was the Sasquatch podcast, right?
yeah, and Irene started Irene started having an earthquake, and they're like, "Are you sure you're okay? You keep going. You don't. We don't need to end it." She's like, "Nah, I'm good."
And I was just holding up my china cabinet. Yeah, we're cool.
You're like, "It's
We've been
nothing
getting
new.
hurt.
We're
I mean, we've been getting earthquakes here as well
Yeah.
in Louisiana. Well, I've never heard people freaked out. I mean, it's like, oh my god, an earthquake! Oh my god, and
Yeah.
people in California were laughing at us. Yeah, whatever. They'll look at the motherfuckers so freaking out. But
because they're so used to it too."
yeah, but
Yeah.
they had a hurricane hit their coast, and then we're laughing at them because I mean, hell, it's easy for me to drive in 2 or 3 foot flood water. I mean, I could do that. But we
Mhm.
get snow here, we're freaked out, man. It's like we get 2 or 3 inches of snow, we're closing schools, roads, and everything. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like,
That's what they do here too. They do that here too. They close schools. If it's a bad hurricane, they close the school down till till the afternoon, and everyone goes to school in the afternoon till it passes. But yeah, we get bad hurricanes too. But yeah, they said, "Oh, that's a hurricane coming." Oh well, what the hell? Yeah.
we had Barrel. That last one that came through was Hurricane Barrel, and that hit like the Texas coastline, and it went up, and I mean, it took out Houston and everything. I mean, it was flooding and everything. They lost power for like I don't know if they still got power. I think some places still don't have power, and that happened a few
Mm.
weeks ago. So I mean, it depends on where the hurricane because you got on the right side is the worst side. The left side is not bad of a hurricane
Mm.
here because
Yeah.
it's counterclockwise. Now typhoon when it's clockwise,
Mhm.
clockwise, so it's totally opposite. Now left side would be the worst side, and the right side would be the good side. And
Mhm.
I mean, whatever side the worst side is, that's where you get your tornadoes and everything else
Mhm.
because you have all those feeder bands and all that shit that's
Mhm.
coming. And that's what
She
happened with
lives.
Texas.
She lives near the Japan seaside. In fact, in front of her window is the ocean, like right in her apartment.
I have the bay right behind my apartment building, so yeah, we
Yeah.
see that from the balcony and the windows.
It's pretty, though, isn't
So
it?
she get hit more. She'll get hit more than we do. I live more on the Pacific side, so and I live a little bit inside, so we don't get as much. But she'll get the worst of it on her side.
They're
Yeah,
so
but
used
that's
to typhoons here that when the first typhoon hit when I was here, I was like, should I be worried? Everyone's like, no, we're so used to it. Trust me.
Yeah,
Buildings are buildings are made to stand. You're good.
we're like, and everyone said, "Oh, there's a typhoon coming." Yeah, we'll be okay. Yeah, don't worry about it. Just get plenty of water. You'll be fine. Like, okay.
that's the thing that kills you here. I mean, it's not the wind; it's the
Yeah,
water. The
yeah,
water kills you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the flooding and everything. It doesn't matter if you get a building that's that's well built. It can withstand winds.
Yep.
It's just the water. And
Yeah.
I mean, hell, look how many people died during Katrina. I mean, shit.
Pretty much, I went outside and I looked at it, especially when it hit us. Luckily, I live on a 6th floor on a big hill, so they said
Mhm.
even if it did flood, more than likely it wasn't gonna hit where I was
Yeah.
anyway. So
But it's not just that. When it hits, you're gonna lose power.
Yeah.
If you ain't got a backup
that's the only
generator,
thing they say. Non-perishable food to eat, water,
Yeah.
source to drink from.
Yeah.
Other than
get
that,
some of
they're
that
like, you're
coon ass caviar. You know what coon ass caviar is, right?
Nope.
It's pot of meat. You get pot of meat in a can. It's called
Ooh.
pot of meat. And that's coon ass caviar.
Ooh. No
and I said
thanks.
worst case scenario here. I call my little oven the easy bake oven, just because it is an adult easy bake oven. Because I was like, first of all, it's so small. It only fits like a 4-tin muffin pan. That's how small it is. So, because everyone's just like, why don't you make meals for your family in it, like casseroles? I'm like, I can't. It's not big enough. It's not.
You need to tell your husband get your damn stove in that place.
I mean, it's so like you can on the stove. If there's a 3-burner stove, there's also a fish
I got
broiler.
a 5 burner stove.
I was like, worst case scenario, I can make something on the stove because even the power is out, the gas
Yeah.
still works, and the stove will still work because it doesn't. My stove does not run on electricity. It runs on a D battery. That's also why I call it the easy bake oven. It runs on a
Yeah.
fucking D battery.
You need to get
Yeah.
that shit out of there.
And I was so confused when
But
they first set it up because they haven't because the gas guy was there before
What
the
do you do
power
for
people.
Thanksgiving? I mean, what do you do there? Put a chicken leg in there and then say, there you go.
uh
You can't do
you
a
got
turkey.
No, you
no
can't really. I mean,
no
I wouldn't want to buy a turkey over here anyways. Just, I mean, you either can't find it because turkeys they have to ship in. We don't have any turkeys
yeah
living anywhere in Japan, so they have to ship
turkeys
it from overseas. And Irene
turkeys
can tell
co-
you, a turkey just costs way too much money.
it costs about a couple $100 to buy turkey in
Oh, I
Japan.
get a
Uh
shit. I get a, if I spend over $15 and I get pissed off, and then the turkey's got to
it's
be because I do big turkeys, like a bacon
yeah
turkey. I do
yeah
my bacon turkey. That's got to be at least 23.5 pounds. It's got to be
no
a big turkey. That's the smallest I'll go on a bacon turkey. Now my fried turkeys, I do fried turkeys. Those are 18-pound turkeys that I fry.
ours are only this big and
Leg on the turkey that I cook.
Yeah, you
they're
can't really get turkey. I mean, I have not been to a restaurant here at all that sells. You
no
can order a turkey.
My son
no
is my son. They're trying to get me to move to
um
Japan.
yeah you should come.
They'd visit you in Japan.
You gotta come and visit us. You
Anthony's
can
got
stay
his
with
own
me.
forest he goes there. He doesn't go. I don't know what they call it over there. He's got his own forest he goes to. That shit's pretty
Mhm.
on it.
You gotta
But I
come and
can't.
stay with us.
Why, man? You get what the fuck? You gonna cook me a chicken leg? Come on, nah, I can't
No,
be dealing with chicken leg.
I'll
That's
No,
that's
she
cook
spent a
you a
lot of
chicken leg.
money to get a bigger oven. Her oven is not normal because here people in Japan they either have the easy bake oven that I call it because it's so small, or majority of people over here don't actually have ovens. They just have like
how you make a pie or cake or something.
I
no,
bake
because
cake.
most households don't have ovens over here. They'll have like the stove,
Only
they'll
my
have like the
house
stove
has.
top and a fish broiler,
Yeah.
and maybe like a rice cooker, and that's it.
Shit.
Can't be dealing
Okay,
with that.
turning
No, no, no. I got a crock
there.
pot.
That's my
Toaster
oven
oven.
right there.
The fuck is that? A
That costs
microwave?
about 1,500 grand. That's about $1,500.
That's a microwave.
No, it's a
My
microwave
microwave is
convection
bigger than that.
oven.
Yes, because
My
they
That's
toaster
microwave.
oven.
Huh?
That's her oven, she said.
Yeah.
Toaster oven. Yeah.
That's what I got. I got one of them toaster ovens. I cook these little pizzas in there. The Red Baron
Nope.
pizzas. I put in there.
I cook my turkey in there and I bake my cookies in it.
How the hell do you bake? No, that looks like a microwave. That's about the same size toaster oven I got.
This is
And
what I used to bake my cookies on it.
that's my
Yeah.
that's my foot round oven. That's when I just don't give a shit. Don't want to turn on the big oven.
That's as big as they get.
I got a 3-racker, man. This thing got 3 racks in it. Man, this thing self cleaning and everything. I ain't gotta do shit.
But yeah, I gotta get a replacement for that one. That one's getting too
Yeah, you
old.
need to get a fucking stove in there.
I gotta
Rip
find a
some of them
place to
fucking
put it.
cabinets out and put a fucking stove in that place, man.
I got a stove.
That ain't a stove. That's a freaking microwave.
Well, my kitchen's not big enough. Okay, we had a hell of a
Yeah.
time getting my fridge upstairs. My kitchen's upstairs. Okay, it's not
How big,
downstairs. Okay,
how big is your refrigerators over there? Y'all got big refrigerators or little damn dorm refrigerators?
Irene spent more money to have the bigger one.
yeah,
It's the same size as a dorm refrigerator, huh?
that's my refrigerator right there. It's just filled with everything. Ice.
Damn, that's one side of my refrigerator right there.
Chilled. And I got a deep freezer.
I do too. How big is that
I
one?
got one. You see, I don't have that kind of room in my kitchen, okay?
Yeah,
I got
that's not
a
good.
big chest of freezer right there. It's
I've got
huge.
a half winding staircase. I got a half spiral staircase, so they have to carry it upstairs to my kitchen.
Amanda, don't you live on base?
My kitchen's
No,
upstairs.
well, base housing was completely full when we got here, so we had to get an apartment in town.
I'd be looking into getting a base house because I know them houses on them bases got a regular stove in them places. They probably got a regular refrigerator in there.
Well,
Irene, they want to see your kitchen.
Amanda has to come to this side.
Nancy wants to see that kitchen. Show her your kitchen. Show her the microwave oven. She calls that the oven.
Who, me?
Yeah, show her the oven. Nancy wants to see your kitchen.
This is my kitchen right here. That's it. This is the kitchen. This is
Usually
the
actually has some storage. They usually don't have that much storage.
the storage is on down below. Yeah, that's my
why
kitchen.
Japanese people are small because they don't eat.
But
No place
I
to
got
cook.
a big bathroom. I got a big bathroom. I got a big bathtub. That's about it.
Yeah, she got a nice toilet. I seen her toilet.
Yeah, I get a big toilet. Yeah, big toilet. Big toilet.
That fancy shit on there.
Yeah, it's got a bidet. It's got a heater on the toilet seat. It's got everything on it. You can wash your backside. You can wash your front side. You can do everything in it. Yeah, it's a pretty big.
So you do it. I mean, like I said, y'all. Well, I mean, Japanese cooking it doesn't take a lot because you got like Amanda said, you got rice cookers and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
it's all.
Yep.
Yeah, most Japanese toilets here, as Irene can tell you, the one she showed you, because we have one just like that here, is the seat is heated.
Yeah.
And yes, you press a button and there's a bidet in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a bidet.
Warm water comes out too.
I got lights in it and everything.
Yeah.
You can change
I
Keeps the pressure on that too.
and this is where I control the gas. This is it. You put fresh water in the bathtub. You heat up the water in the bathtub. You measure. Hold on a second. There, the water's 43 degrees centigrade. It's 20. It's 20 liters of
It's
water.
called a hot water heater. Just set the fucking. You ain't gotta worry about it. You turn the nozzle. You add a little cold to it. You add a little hot to it, and there you're done with it.
It's got 20 liters of water in it, right? So, and keeps the water warm for 5 hours in the bathtub. There, that's everything. That's my gas panel. It's a gas panel.
Mm, mm, mm.
And right now, the water's being heated. Right now, there's fresh water being put in the bathtub.
I mean, it must have been a big shock to you from coming from the United States, living a certain way, and then you had to move over there, and then live in a whole different another way, a whole different other style lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first
Like
time we saw one of those, Irene, they didn't tell us how to use it, so we had to figure it out on our own. And we were so confused at first. We were like, "How do I get the water?"
Yeah. How do I heat up my bathtub?
You just turn on a valve.
I don't
I
have any taps on my bathtub. It comes out of a hole on the side of my bathtub, so it heats up the water. Water comes in that way, and you plug the bathtub. But I don't have any faucets on my bathtub.
gotta have faucets. Gotta have faucets.
Well,
Be
you
able to
control it through that box, though, and that's why
that
as an
box. I
American,
want to be able to control it with my hands. I want to be able to see what I'm doing.
yeah,
I feel
they don't have that over. They don't. Some of them don't have that over here. So the first time we saw that box, we're like, okay, how do I do this?
Yeah. I'll show you just a second. Wait, hold on. Coming downstairs, coming in the laundry room, going through.
So when y'all coming back to the States, Amanda, or are you coming back to the States?
We are hoping to. It's going to be probably October next year, but we're
Mhm.
hoping to get somewhere else in Japan. So either stay here or be at that base closer to Irene. We're more hoping to be in the base closer to Irene, especially like travel wise.
Yeah.
The place we want to visit in Japan is obviously it'd make a lot more sense to be up there near Tokyo to visit places up there compared to down here.
Yeah. It's called Yokota.
So did you learn the language, Amanda, or are you still learning the language?
We're still learning it. Luckily, because it's a smaller town and it used to Americans being here.
Yeah.
They have English. They usually have English menus because they're just so used to foreigners around here.
Yeah.
So it's great for their economy.
Yeah. See, Howard, this is where the hot water comes up to fill the bathtub. And
I couldn't deal with that. I couldn't deal with that.
This is the plug of the bathtub. You wash outside here, and you bathe in here to warm up.
Yeah, you're supposed to rinse your body off first before getting inside.
Yeah.
Why?
And my gas.
That's called a shower.
Yeah, but it's because they don't usually drain the water, so that's why you rinse your body instead of getting a bath.
Well, how the hell? That's bath water. You sitting there, you're soaking your asshole in there. You're supposed to empty that water out.
No, you wash here first.
I mean, you want a bubble bath. You can't have
you
a bubble bath.
You don't have bubble baths.
Like I said, have a bubble bath.
Water is really expensive in Japan.
No, you can't do it. I understand, Nancy. I can't do it either. I might as well live in the backyard. Shit, get a hose pipe or something. Fuck.
Water is really expensive in Japan.
Why? It's all it is. I don't pay nothing for my water. It's called a well. You know, you put a well motor in there. The only thing you got to pay is electricity to bring the water up.
Gas is really expensive too, because
Yeah.
you buy everything. We don't have natural resources here, so we have to buy everything. There.
I don't know if I can. I don't know.
Oh, you can.
No. 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 Howard needs a bubble bath. Howard's got to be able to control his water with some faucets. The toilet's okay. I can deal with the toilet. Toilet's with the shower and the tub. No, that's got to go. The oven. No, I got to have the stove in that fucking place. I got to have a refrigerator, not no dorm refrigerator. A mini fridge. I got to have a refrigerator. I guess I'm too Americanized. I guess because I'm used to bigger and better.
Yeah.
Luckily, we got when we got our apartment. One of the things I specifically did not want to get, this one does not have it, thankfully, is the Tatimi floors.
Mhm. It's 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 made from um it's an old Japanese flooring that they use, and you gotta watch out because they're made elsewhere in Southeast Asia, and they got all kinds of bugs growing there, and I got really bitten really bad.
That's what I'm going to go with. I now have wood flooring in my throughout my house except my bathrooms and my kitchen. I have tile, ceramic tile. The next flooring I'm going to do when I pull up this hardwood flooring is I want to go bamboo flooring. They have that. They have that bamboo flooring. It's pretty too. I'm going to
Yeah,
go bamboo flooring. And it's strong. It's strong.
Yeah,
Lasts a long time.
it does
Rather than
grow
the no.
fast here, so that's even.
it's cooler too in the summertime.
Supposedly, Tatimi mats though also get easily damaged, so I'm like, yeah, no.
No. Especially if you have kids, they'd be dropping shit and
That's what I
Yeah,
said. I have a kid. I have a dog. No, I don't. That's
I
one of
don't
those things
have
I
one
wish
in
I
my
would.
house. I don't have a tatami floor in my house. My house is a brand new way of building it, so they don't have that here. It's just totally different. Only the old houses have that, not the new ones.
well, that's what Amanda wants. She wants an old house.
Oh,
One
you
that's
want to
home.
buy an old house? You can buy an old house, Howard. You could, if you want to. It doesn't cost very much money.
I
They're
don't want to buy.
giving.
I'm not. I'm. You got me freaked out about Japan now. I mean, you didn't show me your kitchen. Fuck. I mean, it's like, man, I can't cook shit in that place.
Well, the old houses are have bigger kitchens, right? And they're giving them away. You can come here and buy a house, fix it up yourself, and live in it.
That is the one of the requirements. There are ways to get a free house here. However,
Hmm.
part of the arrangement is you have to remodel it.
Yeah,
You
yourself.
have to fix it up. You have to remodel it yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm not able to remodel anything, especially something old, and make
You
it
can't
more.
hire contractors to come in and remodel.
I don't think you can because it's just one of those things where like you have to remodel the house. I'm like, yeah, I
Depends if
don't
you
Yeah.
have
have
the
no
time.
skills whatsoever. I mean, you bought a house. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, if you're a contractor, yeah, it would be awesome that you can just buy a house, we'll get a free house, and then you only got to do is remodel it. Fuck, I mean,
Yeah.
if you already have the knowledge, sometimes if you
Yeah.
don't have the knowledge,
Yeah. But you could hire somebody to do it if you want to.
you
It
can't
comes
hire a
with it
contractor.
comes with it comes with a huge backyard and a huge front yard, and yeah, it's like in the middle. It's like a countryside house. If you want to buy it, it's yours.
And then
Wow.
you do that, and all of a sudden you've got some shit that's happening, like in the grudge and shit happening in your house. Oh,
That's a possibility here. So yeah, that's also
get some
one of the
kid
reasons.
coming out of your tub. You know, fuck that. Listen
What?
at that kid talking shit.
Some of them are haunted. Some of them aren't. Some they just left. They just decided to leave because they ran out of money to pay for it. So they just
I'm gonna
dumped it.
tell you something else. If you come to New Orleans, do not come during the summertime because you'll be miserable.
No, we're
Mm,
the same here. We're
Miserable.
miserable now.
we're
Irene
just
said that they had their AC on. Irene said they had their AC on 17 degrees Celsius, and it was not cooling down the house because it's just so hot and humid that it was not doing anything.
it. Like I was sitting here baking
Yeah,
yesterday on the
usually that
podcast.
happens.
I was going, can't breathe, can't breathe.
So, fun fact about Irene's that cat is 26, about to be 27 human years old.
Yeah.
It's a young cat.
My friend told me that he has the spirit of this child that I lost, and so he lives in this cat. That was what I was told.
What's the age human and cat years? What's the difference in human and
Six,
cat years? 6
six.
years?
Yeah.
They're not even sure, Nancy. Is even the vet. She took her cat to the vet. The vet is like, I don't even know what to do with this cat.
Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't give it shots anymore because the cat's not supposed to be living this long. So what am I gonna do? Like he went back to his veterinary books, his books that he has, and he goes, no, 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 can't do this. He's not supposed to be living. He's supposed to be dead. And I said, well, you tell him that. So
The longest living cat in the world, the record is 38.
he's got cataracts in his eyes. He can't see, but he can. But he still walks downstairs and goes all over the place and goes to the toilet, cat sandbox. He does everything all by himself. So I
See,
don't
I got
know.
a cat that thinks it's a dog. We had all dogs. The cat was my daughter's, so I'm not gonna get rid of it because it was my daughter's cat.
Yeah.
And yep, that cat thinks it's a fucking dog. It barks. Have you ever seen a cat bark? Mine does. It's in cat language, but he tries to bark.
I'm assuming it was raised with dogs.
Yeah, man, my cat was raised with dogs.
Yeah,
Her
probably.
cat. It was her cat, and it was here. Yeah, we have all. I got 3 pit bulls. I got a border collie. I got a Jack Russell, and I got what is it? Like a beagle hound dog. Like it's a mix.
Like a
Color.
Heinz 57, right?
Yeah, she's a fat dog. She got short legs. She's about. She looks like a football. A big football with legs.
What you feeding her, Howard?
That dog, they eat all the time. That son of a bitch there. You know where she's laying at? She's laying right in front of the refrigerator. That's where that dog is. Cat won't eat cat food. He eats dog food. So that's when I don't have to buy cat food. So the cat eats dog food. I bought a kitty box. He
Mm-hmm.
won't go in. I got pads. I bought these potty pads,
Mm-hmm.
and the cat will go on a potty pad, just like the dog would, in case they haven't walked him yet, and they have to go to the bathroom. It goes right on the potty pad, just like the dogs do. Cat thinks it's a dog.
Oh dear. Wait a second. I gotta change my name. I
But
gotta
y'all want
change
to
my name.
come like in November, December, mainly like Just January possibly. It's cold in January, so it's not that bad. You
Hmm.
can walk around and enjoy it, the city
Mm-hmm.
more. Do dogs pee in the house? How? Wait, do dogs pee? My dogs pee outside, but you have to put pads in case they got to go because I don't want them
Mm-hmm.
pissing on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have potty pads down just in case.
Mm.
They usually get walked. They
Um.
get like 3 times a day to get walked.
Oh, Howard, you're such a softie. That's why.
And then I got pigs and chickens, and yeah, you getting ready to get some. Yeah, can you keep a pig in your yard? Yeah, you gotta have a permit for that shit, huh?
You're kidding, really?
No, I'm talking about you. You got to have permits to have pigs and chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit.
Um. You can't own a chicken and you can't own a pig in the city.
I live outside. Yeah, I can have that. I live in one of the richest parishes in Louisiana, and they have bans on everything. And I was grandfathered in because I had pigs and chickens. Hell, I had cows out there one time.
Yeah,
My neighbor has goats.
I live in a
I
huge
had a
city.
goat. The goat ate the damn chain that was on him. It was a thin ass chain, and the goat ate it. I've never seen a goat eat fucking that kind of. I mean, I know goats eat cans and shit if you leave it in there, but this fucker here ate a chain.
Damn. Yeah, I live in a huge city. I can't have stuff like that in my house. Most I can have is a cat or a dog. I can't have anything else other than that.
Oh, they're not those ain't in my house. They in the backyard. The pigs and chickens. Oh fuck that!
I don't even have a backyard.
I barely like the dogs in my house.
I don't even have. I don't even have a backyard, Howard. I just
I
have.
got a big yard. I got a big piece of property.
I don't.
I'm getting ready to till up some ground. I'm looking for a tiller right now, garden tiller. I want to till up. I want to till up a piece of property that I got. It's going to be 50 by 100 uh,
Ooh.
feet. 50 by 100 feet. I'm gonna till it all up, and I'm gonna plant me some vegetables. I already got my cucumbers and my pumpkin already buried out there. I'm getting ready to grow
Ooh.
some watermelon.
Nice.
Yeah, my
I
cucumbers are
can't
taking.
grow. I only got blackberry, blueberry, and raspberry outside, and I have a lemon tree.
I got blackberry growing. The blackberry grows wild here, so I got blackberry all over the place.
I only. I had to buy my tree.
No, they grow wild here.
They don't here because I think they're not indigenous to this country. Neither are raspberries, neither are blueberries. They're introduced,
Hmm.
so they don't grow wild here.
You see, something ever happens like the apocalypse or something. See, I call it the Triple P Ranch in my back there. The Triple P Ranch. It's Petries Pigs and Poultry. And I got freaking bacon and eggs that I got fucking at least a year worth of bacon and eggs back there.
You should get a turkey then.
I've, turkeys are they're a nasty creature. They are.
Yeah, I was gonna say they can be pretty violent.
Peacocks too. People around here got peacocks. They got wild peacocks that are flying around this fucking place now. I mean, it's crazy. Them damn things scream. I'm like, what the hell is that? It sounds like some woman dying out in the woods. I mean, he's a freaking peacock. Barn owls. When I first moved to the country, I lived in the city. I lived in the city for most of for 12 years, my younger years. When I moved to the country, first night out here, I screamed I mean, I was like, I was scared shitless. I was scared shitless. I heard this woman screaming at the top of her lungs, and it was a fucking barn owl.
No,
That's what
damn.
it was. I said, "Oh my God, is somebody dying out in the woods, man? Call the law or something, shit." Barn Barn
See, this is
owl.
why I don't understand why some zoos allow the peacocks to just roam free. Because I've seen videos where the peacocks will walk up to people and just start attacking for no reason.
Yep.
Guess what? Howard would be eating peacock that night.
Then, unfortunately, because I've seen one where the person was kicked out because they're eating popcorn and the peacock walks up to them and starts attacking them for it. They kick the peacock to get it away,
Hmm.
and the zoo just kicks them out and bans them for it. And they're like, "It attacked me. What did you want me to do?
Yeah.
Let myself be attacked?"
Yeah.
Audubon Zoo in New Orleans let their peacocks run around like that.
Jeez. We got crows, like big, huge. They
But big
come out
black
every
crows.
time.
Yeah, they're around
They come out every time that we have garbage day. Every Tuesday and Fridays, they come out and they're waiting for the people to take out the garbage, and they just
Oh,
go
those
at it.
things can get as big as hawks.
Yeah, they're huge.
yeah, we
Yeah.
got them. There's some big black crows.
Yeah,
They
and
got the yellow eyes.
yeah, and they when they have hatchlings, right? They they come around and attack the kids who are coming home from school, and like they're going after them. It's a real big pain in the butt living in the
Yeah,
city here.
you gotta watch them birds. I'll tell you what's really bad here. It's the damn squirrels.
Mm,
Now I'll eat a squirrel. Don't get me wrong. I eat squirrel, but
mm,
some bitches will attack. They don't give a shit here.
mm,
They brave. I had cherry tomatoes growing out in front of my porch. I mean
mm-hmm,
these cherry tomatoes. I had them in planters, and they were about 7.5 foot tall. And
mm-hmm,
when the cherry tomatoes come out, they look like grapes.
mm-hmm,
They come in a bunch, like
mm-hmm,
a pack of grapes. And these were still green. It was just starting to turn red, and I was going out there and water them and everything, and I was checking them out, and I was missing tomatoes. I was like, "Where the hell my tomatoes are going?" So I stayed out there and watched them, and these fucking squirrels come down, and they just grab a pot, pox of them, and they just start eating the fucking tomatoes right down the rail on my porch rail. I'm like, "What the hell?" So I went out there and usually they kind of flinch, they run off when they see a human. These some bitches stood right there. So I went up there and I hit one with my hand. He jumped back on the rail and started continuously eating. So I had to go in the house and get the broom and I beat the shit out of one of them squirrels. And he took the beating and came right back. So I said, man, I can't wait. Wait till my neighbors go to work. I'm gonna shoot me some squirrels. That's what's gonna happen.
You're gonna make yourself some squirrel stew.
I'll make me some shit. I'll eat some squirrel now.
Yeah,
I have enough of them to make a nice stew.
we have. I can't plant herbs. I can't plant um, and I can't even uh pumpkin. I can't even plant a pumpkin because the birds will eat it. They
You
just
gotta
can't
watch the
wait.
rabbits down here with that though. With the cucumbers, is pretty much they stay away from the cucumbers. But if you got pumpkin or watermelon or whatever, they'll
Yeah,
get into the pumpkins and watermelon. Rabbits and the squirrels get that. So you
they'll
gotta
eat the seeds. They'll eat the seeds from the pumpkin. So my husband planted a whole bunch of pumpkin seeds. It's gone. It's
once you
gone.
plant them,
Hmm.
you need to they dig them up and eat the seeds.
Yeah.
Damn,
Yep.
I'll be eating me some squirrels or something for putting up
It's
with that
it's
shit.
my husband planted some thyme, some rosemary, and some what was it? Some parsley. They're all gone.
That's why you get them in a window box.
Uh,
You plant your herbs in a window box, and you can
yeah.
when you're
I
cooking,
told you.
especially in the kitchen, you have a window in your kitchen. Plant them in
Yeah.
your kitchen window box, and then you can go and as you need the herbs, you can just get fresh herbs and right then and there. You ain't got to worry about buying that dried out shit that you buy in a container. You got fresh herbs.
Yeah. I gotta tell him to get that for upstairs here, so I can plant her upstairs. because they can't plant them in the garden because nothing. They all get chomped on right away.
So what's the strangest things y'all have eaten out there so far, Amanda?
Chicken liver?
You never had fried chicken liver before?
No.
Fried
It's
chicken
like,
liver and fried gizzards are good downhill. Shit, you fry that, that's good eating.
yeah, it actually was really good because we ordered a bunch of stuff like that where it was like the chicken insides, different ones,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't know which one was which when it came, but it didn't really matter. And it's just it is really good to taste it.
And the livers are soft and it's soft and you can chew it real good, but the chicken gizzards are more rubbery
Yeah,
and
we've had that too here.
it's a good flavor. That's the weirdest thing you had.
Something we wasn't used to that and eel.
I never had eel before, so that'd be something new I'd like to try.
They got eel. We got where Amanda lives. I'm surprised she didn't eat any fugu, like tiger blowfish. That's really good.
Blowfish?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta watch it and make sure they clean them right, though, don't you?
Oh, they do. They have a special license.
'Cause you can die from that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they lock up the guts in a box, and it's outside, and it's got a lock on it, and it's got a key on it. So they get they get they have a special company that picks them up and destroys it. And you have they don't put it in a garbage bag because they don't want any dogs or cats wandering outside eating it and dying from it. So that's why they put it in a special lockbox outside, and they get
I'll tell you a secret, and this
no
was told to me.
they get
You
taken away,
you ever heard of
and
what
they
they
get
call zombie dust?
yeah
You ever
they
heard of
get
zombie dust?
no,
no
Okay, you ever seen the movies where voodoo people they turn the dead people they bring back from the dead? They
yeah
use something. They
they
use what they
get a
call zombie
powder
dust. It's a powder,
yeah
and part of that powder is made from blowfish.
ooh
That's how they make them where they can lower their heart rates down and everything, and then they bring them back from the dead, and then they're pretty submissive because you keep feeding them the zombie
ooh,
dust. That's how they
ooh.
make zombies.
That's
That's
only on her
what
side.
that's where you learn. You learn stuff like that.
That's only on her side of the island where you can buy it. On this side, it costs a lot of money to buy one, but
Well, go
on
take
her
a ride
side,
to our house and buy you a couple pounds.
that's only on her side where you can buy it. It's cheaper on where she lives than where we live.
we also have out here in Japan the like the octopus balls. What are they called?
Hmm.
Starts with T.
Um, takoyaki.
Yes.
Octopus balls.
Oh, they it's like they, they cut octopus into little chunky bites, and they put a batter, and they put each chunk in a batter, and they roll it around to make like a round ball, and
Oh,
they
okay,
put
it's like
salt on
alligator balls.
it.
We make alligator balls like that. It's cheap pieces of these chunks of alligator meat, and they roll it and they fry it,
Yeah,
Yeah,
roll it in the dough. Yeah, that's what they make alligator ball out of.
they're good. I've
they are
had,
good.
yeah, I've never had an alligator ball.
You have alligators.
Nope,
You ever
we
eaten
don't.
alligator?
Nope, we don't have that. We only have sharks here.
I've eaten shark. Shark's good.
Yep,
Tuna,
yep.
tilapia. I've eaten tilapia. Everybody gets tilapia, but tuna, fresh tuna, caught tuna,
Mhm.
uh,
Oh,
swordfish, mai mai.
sushi
Oh
is
yeah,
so fresh here. It's caught that day.
Yeah.
It's usually caught the same day you ate it, not the day before.
Yeah, that's Louisiana, baby. You live right there in the Gulf. I mean, shit, you get fresh shrimp, you get fresh seafood all the time.
Yeah.
They got people on the side of the road. They go in that morning, and you buy that afternoon.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oysters, everything. Yeah, you get shit. Everything's fresh. Instead
And
of
on
going like
Japan
Louisiana,
seaside, you can get really nice crab. Like,
you buy it off the boat here.
yeah.
Literally, when they pull in, you can buy it straight off the boat.
Oh, that sounds yummy.
It's fresh.
Mm.
That dead shit.
Yeah.
I've seen people buy them packs of shrimps and stuff from Walmart. Oh look, it's $5, $6 for a bag of little shrimps and all that. And
Yeah.
that's no, thank you. I said, let's
No.
get some of that fresh shrimp.
Yeah.
What?
Get you right off the boat. Right off the boat. But you never had like turtle. Turtle's good eating.
No.
Uh, alligator. Alligator
Nope.
sauce. Oh my God, that's good. I'll eat just about anything. I won't eat is raccoon because that's out of respect. Coon ass. I'm a coon ass, baby. I ain't doing that. No. That's my people. Coons, we don't. And then I won't eat what they call them damn things. Shit. Nah, I'm brain funk. I've smelt armadillo before. I didn't try it. It didn't smell too good. Um, Possum. I won't eat
Mhm.
fucking possum
Mhm.
at all. I won't touch a fucking possum. I don't give a shit how you cook it, where you cook it, whatever. Possum. Two things what a possum does. Possum. The first thing that it does, it eats dead people. Anything dead.
Mhm.
So it has bad bacteria in it for one.
Mhm.
And then the second thing is possum carries leprosy.
Mm.
And I'm not going to get rotten skin. No.
Mm. Mm.
So fuck the
Mm.
possum. I won't,
Mm.
I won't touch a possum. But I've eaten just about everything else.
Oh, they could serve you snake here
Yeah,
in the
snake's good.
northern parts. They have barbecue snake,
Mm-hmm.
and the one of them that they have is the hub. It's the most poisonous snake that they have in Japan. It's not that. It's not very big. It's almost like it's about this big.
That's it.
Uh, you can they barbecue them.
Barbecue alligators, small alligators.
Yeah.
I got pictures when I've done a couple of them before. I do.
Alligator meat is pretty good.
They sell that shit in the stores now. Down here.
They You can buy it on Amazon in Japan. I noticed that.
Alligator? Alligator's
Well,
good.
yeah, you can
That was
buy.
one of the things that they were talking about. If you can have alligator during Lenten season and stuff, I don't give a shit. I'm going to eat alligator anyway.
I was gonna say, I'm sure that you guys have a lot of alligators anyway, so.
Yeah. I mean, you ever seen the History Channel?
Yeah,
Swamp People?
yeah,
You ever seen Swamp People?
yeah.
That's filmed like not even 20 miles away from me.
Dang.
Swamp People. Oh, yeah, we're Swamp People. Yeah, we had that about 20 miles. I know most of the assholes.
Oh, when you come, you gotta bring some gator meat with you.
You won't be able to get that on that plane. I'm gonna keep
Yeah, I
that
was gonna
fresh.
say, I really wouldn't allow that on the plane. That's one of the things they scan for.
Shit.
They ask you that shit when you come to the United States. You're bringing in any vegetables or anything else in. They want to quarantine that shit. Yeah, I'm bringing in fucking 30, 40 pounds of alligator meat. And they're going to be like, what the fuck you trying to smuggle in?
You'd have to go there to eat it, Irene.
Oh shit. Okay. I'm taking a road trip. Not this
You're
year.
gonna
Not
take a road trip over the Pacific. You can't do that.
Just to say,
I'm
Irene, you
thinking.
can't drive to Louisiana from
I'm thinking a
Japan.
road trip. Not this year, not next year, but the year after. I'm going. I have to go to the mainland. People in Texas want me to meet them, visit them, and where is it? West Virginia. I have to go there too. So
You're going to
You're
Texas,
gonna
then
be
West
here for a
Virginia.
while. You're gonna be here a while just driving. So hopefully you don't think it's gonna be a quick trip.
No, you
yeah,
gotta fly. You gotta probably fly in. What you might be able to fly in from Japan to California, and then from
Mm.
California you would have to take a connecting flight out to Texas, and then from Texas, once you visit there, you're not driving to West Virginia because that's halfway across the country. So that's about maybe a 3 or 4 hour flight, just
hmm
flight. That's not driving. I
no,
mean, from my front door to Kansas, that's fucking 15 and a half hour drive.
I know.
Yeah, that's
So
what I said. If you plan on driving, you're gonna be here for an extremely long time.
well, my husband wants to go too. So
You'd have to fly to where you want to go. It's going to cost you just the flights alone, unless you
Yeah,
got a
you're
lot of
gonna
miles.
definitely have to fly from
yeah,
Texas to West Virginia.
yeah. So I'm
Now, you
gonna.
might be able to drive to Louisiana from Texas, depending on what part of Texas you're in. Now,
I
if you're
might
on the
pop in and say hi,
west side,
Howard.
yeah,
I might
if you're
pop
on the
in and
west
say
side of
hi,
Texas,
Howard.
it's going to be a long drive. If you're on the east side of Texas, then it won't be that bad. I think from my house to Houston, it's about 8 hours.
Austin is where I'm going to be going.
Austin,
Hmm
that's about 10 hours.
Shit. I should say hi, Howard. I'm going to pop into Louisiana.
Well, if you're driving, you're going to drive through Louisiana. You're going to drive through the northern part of Louisiana.
I was
But
gonna say, Irene, if you're driving, you might as well just stay a couple of nights in Louisiana.
Yeah, because
Make it more worth the long drive.
I promised my friend I'd pop in. I visit them. I promised don't do that, so I have to. But it won't be the first time. But I'll be going with a Japanese passport. I won't be going with a Canadian passport because I've got to get citizenship in
in
Japan.
Canada, oh, you ain't a citizen of Japan.
Yeah,
You're not a citizen.
no, I have an immigrant visa,
Where the fuck do you come from?
Canada.
Canada.
You're Canadian. Oh, my Lord. Why the hell you? How the hell you ended up in Japan from Canada?
My husband,
Y'all have one of them arranged marriages or something? What happened?
no, he just went to Canada as a working visa from
But
Japan.
he's Japan. He's
Yeah,
Japanese.
yeah.
Okay.
So
And you lived in Canada. You was a Canadian.
yeah,
And then you married him, and then you had to move to Japan. And well, actually, if you did that in the United States, you would be a citizen.
yeah.
You'd already be a citizen in the United States because once you marry, your visa changes to you're Americanized.
Well, not in Japan. It's not like
Ask
that
Jackie.
here.
Jackie could tell you. My wife, Jackie, could tell you. She was from Kenner, Louisiana. I married her. Now she's an American.
I was gonna say, I don't know if that's how it works because don't you have to have like the K1 visa first
hmm hmm
to get married? So you have
Yeah.
90 days to get married after it's issued.
hmm So
I don't know how that works either.
I was
so
gonna say, I
I know
watched a lot of 90 Day Fiance where it's one of those they had to apply for the
yeah, they
K1
want to
visa
investigate. They want to
finally got
investigate.
the when they finally got the K1 visa approved. They had like 90 days to get married.
yeah.
But they want to
So
investigate as well because they want to make sure that you're not marrying them just to give them citizenship.
yeah, I
They want to
know.
make sure that you
Yeah,
are
that's why
being.
there's interviews you have to go through. They said it's a long process with many
And then I have to give up
interviews.
my Canadian passport because they only allow one citizenship in Japan. They
Yeah.
don't allow dual citizenship in Japan.
Which that would suck.
Unless I
Well, how does
hire a
it work
lawyer.
with you, Amanda? I mean, you're an American citizen and you're living in Japan. It's because your husband's in the service.
Yeah, we have that. We have a visa for that. So we have like a temporary resident visa, but my passport's still an American passport.
Hmm.
They're telling us now we have to get a passport. We have to get a passport now.
You have to.
Have to.
Yeah, they're starting to. You either have to get a passport or you have to get some kind of
It's a
stupid
star in your driver. It's on
star
your
in your
driver's
driver's license, which is the same thing as the. You have to have shown like all this identification too.
Mm,
But it's like it's the same identification I think as you get your passport. So you might as well just get your passport or whatever.
I mean, I went to go do mine, and they said, "You want your do this? You want to put your star on there now?" And I said, "What you mean?" And they said that now they're putting your passports on your driver's license. You can use your driver's license as a passport.
oh, I didn't know that.
And I said, well, I don't know. And Jackie's like, I don't know. I said, just give me my license. Just give me a regular license. And it doesn't cost no more than what it costs now.
I got one of these. I just covered the other part. This is my visa, so I can stay in Japan. I have to carry this wherever I go when I travel anywhere in Japan. It's it's part of my immigrant visa.
Shit.
Yeah. It tells it's in Japanese when I was born, what country I was born in, where I live, um uh when my passport expires, and it has the address where I live in the back.
Yeah. But they're doing it where when you're taking flights and stuff, because now even if you're flying just in the United States, say if I fly from Louisiana to, I don't know, to Virginia,
Hmm.
and I have to have a passport now in order to fly.
Oh
Passport or the
gosh.
star on your ID.
ID, right.
Oh damn.
I
I
don't
can
know
bring my
why.
license and just get a star put on it. That's all I need to do is just renew the license, and I may have to just get another license. I think it's like $10 just to get a new
Hmm.
license. So
I'm
I
not
just
sure
got my.
why they started doing that though, but yeah.
I don't know either. Maybe it's because of like they're trying to crack down on terrorism or something. I don't know.
I don't know. That's weird. They're making it more complicated than it really is, right?
Of course.
But, yep. So,
They
but
got
That's
it's
just
another one here. It's called a My Card, where you can use this instead of using your insurance. So they can use this instead of your insurance that covers you for medical. So it's called a My Card, and it has this thing on the back of it. So yeah.
so that pays for your insurance. You have to pay for your insurance, or you get your insurance for free.
My insurance, my husband pays half. His company pays half, and we pay half.
It ain't
And
bad.
covers dental, prescription, all prescription, um, all hospitalization, everything. So yeah,
That ain't bad at all.
nope.
mm.
And it it's there.
Healthcare over here is a lot more affordable than back in the United States.
This
Just we
this is the,
overheard people who did stupid shit over here, went to a Japanese hospital. Obviously, they didn't have Japanese insurance; they had to pay out of pocket. But they said it actually was not that much.
yeah. This is the
Hmm.
insurance that Costco Japan has for their employees, and so yeah, so that's the insurance card.
I got the Blue Cross Blue Shield. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need that. All you need is just this. You can go to the dentist. You can get your prescriptions filled. You can get everything done. Actually, when I go to the doctor, when I go see my doctor, I only pay $4.20, and then I get my prescriptions for about $20 now.
I don't pay nothing
Mm,
for my prescriptions, and it costs me, I think it's $30. No, my primary care physician doesn't cost me anything.
mm,
Now, if I go to a specialist, it costs me $40 to see a specialist.
yeah, but yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good when you see a doctor here. It's more affordable, isn't it, Amanda?
Yeah, must have been here. Yeah, that's a lot of people
Then
are saying just going to the
you get
hospital,
the
even emergency room visits.
Hmm.
you get the Aflac insurance, and then that's even better because it pays you to pay. Yeah, even your insurance, if it pays you still.
Yeah.
Helps pay your bills. You're sick or whatever. You get hurt. It's good
The
to
only
get.
the only thing that we don't have housing insurance on this house. We don't have that because you can get earthquake insurance. You can get typhoon insurance. Torn, but we don't have that because they don't pay out if your house gets destroyed, right? So
You don't pay
that's
out. You get insurance. It's supposed to pay.
well, they don't because a lot of people had damage to their house in the last earthquake, and they had so many people that wanted money from their insurance that they just didn't bother paying it out. So natural disasters are just something different in this country.
It don't matter here. I mean, they pay you no matter what happens. You get the insurance. I mean, but insurance is very expensive.
Yeah,
Hmm.
House
here
insurance.
too, it's really expensive here too. Especially earthquake insurance is really expensive in Japan.
Well, it's not earthquake. We have hurricanes, and I mean, it's very destructive. And insurance companies actually pulled out of Louisiana.
Yeah.
It's hard to find an insurance company that'll pay for your housing, for house insurance. And if you have a mortgage, you have to have house insurance. So you have, it's like now what I have to get because my insurance company pulled out. I mean, I
Mm,
paid my premiums and everything, and they said I was, sorry they had to lose me, but uh, I had to go with another insurance company, and to find one, you couldn't find one. So we finally found one. It's through the state. You have to get. A lot of people have the insurance that's through the state because a lot
mm-hmm,
of these insurance companies pulled out housing
mm-hmm,
insurance because they don't. They're losing so much money when
mm-hmm.
a hurricane comes through.
Yeah. Do you have a
You like,
mortgage,
I
Howard?
have a mortgage. Yeah, I got a mortgage.
We don't have one.
You paid your house off.
Yeah.
Well, that's
When we
nice.
bought it,
I paid
we
my house
paid
off. I got
cash.
a mortgage.
We paid cash.
I ain't got that kind of money like you got, Irene. I'm a poor man. I got to pay what I got to pay. I mean, but
Yeah.
see, the thing is, I got a mortgage because I got a big fucking stove and a big refrigerator,
Oh yeah.
and I can turn my water on and off.
Damn.
That's why
Yeah,
I
we
pay a
don't
mortgage.
we don't have a mortgage.
A lot of people in the United States. I mean, shit, you got to go 90% of people in the United
Well,
States
you
have
have
it.
to. Well, it's different because I know how the housing market in America sucks. And then Irene, I think we did the math on Irene's house to American dollars, and she spent
Hmm.
like 32,000 American dollars on her house. Yeah, compared to American, that would be, the price of American homes. But you pretty much have to have a
Yeah,
mortgage.
my house is
Yeah.
worth 175 American dollars. So that's quite a few thousands of dollars more than 32,000. You have to have a mortgage.
Mm.
I can't come up with 100 some thousand dollars.
We our property's pretty big for where we live, and it's uh I don't know. It's one of the biggest ones that you have in Tokyo. So it's not small. Our house is pretty big too. So it holds up the whole property. It sits on the whole property. So we don't hardly have any room for anything else.
I mean, it depends, I guess, where you live at, because even in the United States, like I have uh, and my son-in-law. They live in Florida.
Hmm.
They live in the Panhandle of Florida.
Hmm.
Now, some things are more expensive there, and some things are dirt cheap. And it's like their insurance, their for the kids to go to school and stuff like that, and stuff that they get, you know, breaks on. We don't have here. So
Mm,
it's affordable for them to live in Florida rather than living in Louisiana.
mm. For us, it's cheaper to live in Tokyo than to live outskirts because the water is cheaper, the electric bill is cheaper, and the gas is cheaper here in the city than it is out in the countryside.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't understand it. I mean, if I lived in a countryside, I'd have my own water because I'd have
Hmm.
put a well in. I'd have them drill a well.
Hmm.
Okay, so you got your water covered. You can use as much water as you want once you
Hmm.
pump out of the ground. Uh, Only thing you would really have to pay for is electricity.
Hmm.
And then put a deep well pump on your ground, it doesn't burn a lot of electricity. It burns just as much as a light bulb burns, to be honest with
Hmm.
you. Your motor runs for a certain, your motor will run for about 3 or 4, I'd say 3 or 4 minutes the max. And then
Hmm.
it fills the tank. And when you turn your water on, you're getting water from the tank actually that's coming into your home.
They don't have that here in Japan, don't they, Amanda?
No, I don't recall ever seeing anything like that either.
Mm, they have well water. We can,
That's where that's well water.
yeah,
It's coming from a well, a deep well.
yeah,
Don't you still have to pay for that though, Irene?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you have your own well, then you ain't got to worry about paying for it.
Electricity is more expensive in the countryside than it is in the city.
Yeah, but you only
Gas is
burn as much as a light bulb.
gas is really expensive outside the. Amanda, do you have
Y'all have,
propane?
yeah, there's propane and butane here.
Do
I
you
don't
have
think it's
propane?
protein. I don't know. I think it's just the regular gas because we just have that. We have a box that can turn it on or off.
Natural gas.
So hers is probably not. Yeah, ours is natural gas.
Yeah,
Y'all try to look into propane.
Propane is really expensive in Japan.
Oh, fuck no, it's not. You can buy a big gallon. I mean, one of the big tanks here,
Yeah, yeah.
about $30 for a tank.
Propane is really expensive to run
That's what
in the.
we use to boil crawfish and stuff. Turkeys.
City gas is cheaper than propane. It's
Yeah, but if your lights go out, you're screwed.
propane is about $400 a month. Gas is about what, $50 a month for city gas.
Well, I'm just saying, like, if you dead of winter, and especially in Louisiana, it gets. I mean, people don't think it gets cold in Louisiana. It gets fucking cold because it's humidity, and
Hmm.
that it turns that humidity and it makes it even. It's like opening up your refrigerator
Yep,
or you freeze it, and you stick your hand in there. It gets cold, and but you
yep,
don't see no snow or anything in there.
nope,
It's just it gets really cold, and
yep,
you talking about these ice storms and stuff that we get down here.
yep,
uh, you lose your power. Well, how are you going to keep your house warm? If you either have to have a fireplace, a couple of generators, or you get propane. And propane, you keep your house warm at least. You know, you can turn on a stove and maybe a heater or something, a propane
yeah.
heater in your house or something, rather
That's
than
what they
just
have here. They have propane gas stoves. It's called a gas fan heater. I don't have that because I've got allergies and I've got lung issues, so I don't own that. All I have is my 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 air conditioner that blows off heat,
well, if it's
and
not, if
it
any
gets.
it's good to have a backup at least anyway. You know,
It
just
gets cold. On her side, it gets really cold. In Japan Sea side, when you're near the ocean, it's freezing cold.
In the winter, yes.
Yeah, it is like, oh, you feel it right through your bones.
it's coming straight off the freaking water. That's why.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you can feel it right through your bones. It's so cold. You won't believe it. It's icy cold in the wintertime, isn't it, Amanda?
Yeah, it gets pretty cold here in the winter.
And we don't
But
have
summer is the exact opposite, where it's like yesterday it was
boiling hot.
110 degrees out, 90 something percent humidity. So,
Yeah, yeah. It's
and
it
and I
gets.
keep telling people the humidity here is so bad that so we have
Mm,
one of those larger. We were given one of those larger dehumidifiers.
hmm
Every day we have to empty it, and and I already know when it's
hmm
full before I even look at the light, just because as soon as it stops, that's when everything starts getting like looking like it's starting to get wet.
And
Hmm.
the floor sticks to your feet.
Yes, the floor be wet, looking wet. The walls look or start dripping with the wetness. Everything just
That's
starts getting wet with
Louisiana.
it.
Well, yeah, welcome. You feel right at home here. You got to watch out for
Yes.
the black mold and everything else because that
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is
Yeah.
here. Is
Yep.
as like I swear, mold grows overnight here.
Yeah. Yeah.
you got to
And if you
yeah,
don't have the dehumidifier on, it just, yeah, your books will get all moldy too, right?
Everything is moldy.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, I'm lucky I live in the city, but in the city it's really hot too. I got wall to wall concrete, so it gets pretty hot here. Oh, and the sun just beats down on the walls. Second.
yeah. Wife is coming home. I have to get off now. I got to
All
go
right,
cook.
guys, we will wrap this up. Hopefully, we'll have Howard on another day.
Yeah.
We can talk Godzilla some more, whatever
Yeah.
else. But everyone who's joined us, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it, and we will see. And thank Howard. Thank you again for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you, Godzilla.
Thank you, and
Thank
thank
y'all
you
for having
everyone.
me on.
Yeah.
Thank you
Appreciate it so
everyone
very
else
much.
who tuned in. Thank you, and we'll see you later. Bye for now.
Bye.